This is the M-Balm effect. M-Balm.
Look at this guy. What the hell happened to his eye? He looks insane.
Omen.
I will tell my son this. You better make sure she comes.
Ghost.
It's like going back to cum tits with Tomb Raider.
Austin Dash.
Eat you alive. Have you not seen Mermaid?
Andrea.
He called her over to use her body to masturbate himself.
Streaming live from YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, and the embalmeffect.com. The M-Balm effect starts now.
Is this thing on? Is it on? Hi, everybody! Hi! Welcome to the M-Balm! The M-Balm effect! Keep it butcher! DeadXOLaughter! On the fucking M-Balm! We're gonna be there! On the M-Balm effect! It's gonna be March 31st! At 2 o'clock! Is it at 2 o'clock? Look at your fucking watch! I don't have a watch! He doesn't have a watch! 2 o'clock, we're gonna talk about shit, some things, and possibly some stuff. We're even gonna do stuff! It's gonna be a lot of fun. Yeah, hold on.
You don't want to miss this.
Yo, what is going on? Welcome to the edition of Rock Hard. We are the M-Balm Effect, and we are getting rock hard here today with Cape Fear Butcher. How's it going, man?
Hi, hey, it's me. I'm doing well.
He's doing well.
As you've noticed from the intro and from the lack of a Jerry.
Yeah.
Jerry is very sick today, and I will be speaking on his behalf.
Yes.
So I'll be both Jerry and me today.
Today, he's going to be both.
Just today.
Yes, DeadXOLaughter unfortunately could not make it. We were going to have plans on having him with us remotely, but unfortunately he really is under the weather and congested and everything else in between. So it's okay. DeadXOLaughter will be back in studio eventually.
Very soon.
Cape Fear Butcher, this is the first time you and I have sat face-to-face by ourselves in one
Yes, it is.
in one sitting, not just in the studio, but in one sitting.
Yeah, just ever.
Yeah.
We're always around people. Now it's just us.
Now it's just us, and now it's time for the nitty-gritty when we get into these conversations. Now, last time you were on was September of 2022. Now, that might seem a very short amount of time, but it's really not because a lot has happened.
Yeah, it felt like an eternity since then.
It did, and
A lot of good stuff has happened.
a lot of good stuff. I know, you could, definitely, man.
There we go.
There we go.
That's better.
Yes. So, yeah, September 2022, we talked about some things. We talked about some stuff, but we're going to do it again today with other stuff.
Sounds good.
And other
I like
things.
it. I like it.
And we have new segments on this show, so don't worry. We'll incorporate them into the show, too.
I like it. I'm always up for a surprise. I don't know what to
Yes.
expect, but I think it would just be like, you know, hanging out with you. So
It is. It is. So you don't know what to expect on this show because every episode we have on this show is usually different. Now, sometimes we get into the nitty gritty about deep, dark conversations. Other times we're making jokes, dark humor, laughing our asses off. you know?
Yeah.
It all varies. It all depends.
I
You
like
know,
variation.
variation is great. You got to have variety in life.
Yeah, I like to be surprised.
Yes. Being surprised is the way to go. Now, we have some comments here already from some of the listeners. Annalise, hey.
Hi.
Dead Do and Cape Fear Butcher are amazing. I think she meant DeadXOLaughter. It's okay.
Hey, it works for me.
She did correct herself, XO. Justin Lee's on here. Hey, M-Balm, I'll be listening at work. Thank you. Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And
Beautiful out of work day.
then Nikki with the, yeah, you got to have the
Thanks,
horns.
honey.
She loves you, man.
Yeah, I
Good
know she
stuff.
does.
It's good. Good.
Wouldn't be anything without that woman.
No, dude, I don't care what anyone says. You know, your woman is your backbone.
The Rock.
In The Rock.
Yeah.
Not Dwayne Johnson.
It could be.
I mean,
I don't know. She scares me sometimes.
oh, she gives
He's
you
a
the.
very intimidating man. You know what I mean?
She
The
gives you
Rock
the-
is huge.
Does she give you the rock bottom and the people's elbow? Is that what happens?
Yeah, it's no more like it's more like a Stone Cold Steve Stunner.
Oh yeah, the Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, it never applied. Just it's always there, looming.
Looming. Yes, looming. Well, I'll ask you this because I didn't ask you this last time when you were on the show. Where did you get the name Cape Fear Butcher?
You know what's funny? On the car ride over here, I was thinking to myself, we should talk about that because it's actually it's a very cut and dry story how I got the name.
Yeah.
So when I first started, like I guess rapping and stuff in 2017, every beat that my buddy had given me, or you know when I just had like the worst setup you could ever think of in the world for making music, I had a Lenovo ThinkPad, a Disney Rock Band microphone, and I used my friend's do-rag as a pop filter. Ooh. It was great, you know, perfect, but it didn't like stop the content from being good, just the quality.
Just the quality.
So every time I would record a song, he would have to rewrite everything he did because he would give me like he would like have his part done. I would do my part and he'd go, "Dude, you can't kill me on my own song."
Yeah.
So he's like, you murder every track you do. You slaughter them. He was like, you butchered this in a good way. So I was like, yeah, hold on. I live by the Cape Fear River in North Carolina. So Cape Fear Butcher. That's how it happened. Because I'll slaughter any song you send me.
Yeah.
That was like where the name originated from.
Okay.
So it's just, my buddy was just mad at me because he kept having to rewrite his parts.
Yeah.
Because we were like a duo team at the time.
That's amazing. It's like a serial killer name, you know? Hence the chainsaw in the background of that intro.
Yeah. No, I really, really like to delve into the character for the music because a lot of my newer music is more separated from like my actual, like me.
Yeah.
I would say. I like to kind of like dive into the character of that and write stories based off of it for the lyrical content of the music.
Right.
So like what I like to compare it to would be, you know, Stephen King doesn't go out and dress up like a clown and murder children.
I mean, we might not see that part of his
not see it. I mean,
life, but
he did some very elusive things in his life.
Yes, he did.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
But like actually going out and like, he's not a serial killer.
No. He's not Dexter.
So when I make music, it's from the standpoint of like a fictional tale.
Okay.
Which has been kind of like muddied in the past. I've had people ask me, and it's like when they meet me, they're like, "Oh, you're nothing like I thought you would be." When I listen to your music, I was like, "Yeah, you should separate the ego of the artist and the character."
Yeah. I've surprisingly enough, I've actually had people say that to me that had listened to the show. They're like, "Wow, you're more approachable in person." I go, I'm trying to think. I didn't want to ask like disrespectfully, but I'm like, what's that supposed to mean?
Yeah. What is it supposed to mean?
Am I an asshole on this show? Like, I don't know, but I mean, I crack jokes and make,
Right.
I do that stuff once in a while, but I think I'm easy to approach, right?
Yeah. I mean, I make fuck you music, like fight music.
Your music, yeah.
But I'm a marshmallow, dude.
Yeah. I mean,
I
it's
just
like
sit back and do nothing. Like my home life is I'm a very incredibly boring human being. Like my personal life is like nothing.
It's like Deal or
like
No
my
Deal, man.
music.
Yeah. Now this song just recently came out not long ago.
Yes, I did.
And now, is this from what's Deal or Neil? Where did this come from, man?
So, I have so many songs under my belt. A lot of metal stuff that's unreleased because the rap wasn't my first venture.
Right.
I have this song and 5 others that I plan to release as an EP soon. But I just finally got the equipment that I would need to record on my own terms and mix on my own terms. I got my interface and my monitors and everything. So I've had these songs in my head for a long time.
Okay.
But I never really knew how to like put them together. So what I did is I would get the drum track, especially for Deal or No Deal, and then I would record a bunch of takes over it and then keep what I liked and then get rid of what I didn't like and re-record the parts that I liked. So I technically, it took me about 30 minutes to come up with this song, and then around 20 to write the lyrics, 10 to record it, about an hour to mix it, and then I just kind of released it just because I have so many things under my belt other than my actual like body of work that I have out in the public now. I wanted to express that I have more to offer and that there's a lot more coming of that.
Yeah. I mean, this guy cooks up a lot of good music. And speaking of cooking, Dallas is on here saying the fucking chef himself.
Yes, I
And
love you,
he's
Dallas.
getting hot, and it's getting hot in here because we're all getting rock hard, and it's just everything's happening. You know what they say: if you can't handle the heat, get out of the kitchen. Well, this guy can handle the heat. He's in the kitchen all the time, 24/7, cooking up some hot ass beats and tracks.
I used to be in the kitchen all the time.
All the time.
Yeah, no, I mean like the actual kitchen. I was a line cook for about 10 years.
You miss it?
I miss the chaos. Not
You miss the
food
chaos.
and not the servers and not the people.
No.
Just miss like the actual busybody work of the line crew.
Yeah.
I'm not physically capable of doing it anymore, but I do miss it. I think about it often because I've had quite a bit of good times doing that. At one point in time in my life, I was working at a pizza restaurant where I co-managed with my friend, and we literally made it a point to only hire musicians. So we would
That's fucking dope, man.
we would sit and make pizza all day and play beats and show each other's music and get features from each other just constantly all day. It was the greatest.
Yeah, that sounds like a good
missed
time.
that a lot.
Yeah. So you'd be like jamming out, making pizza.
Yeah, listening to the Fallout soundtrack constantly.
The Fallout.
Yeah, like Fallout the video game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which one? New Vegas 4? Which one?
Really just Diamond City Radio.
Diamond City Radio.
Yeah. We would play it over the loudspeaker in the restaurant because they were like, the owner would come in and be like, dude, you can't play your music.
Yeah.
It's too aggressive. Like, you're scaring people away. And I was like, all right, cool. So I'll go back to like the doo-wop days. I'll just play the Fallout soundtrack.
So I'm glad I'm not the only one that actually enjoys that music.
Oh, I love it.
I love
It's
it too.
So good. It's so good. The thing about like metalheads really is most of them don't really listen to metal that much, as in like the people that actually play it.
Yeah.
Often, what I've always said is like I don't want to listen to a bunch of music that sounds like mine.
Yeah.
I want to listen to me and have others sound like me.
Yes.
In the great words of the late Mitch Lucker from Suicide Silence, those were his exact words. So like me, like the trap metal, I don't listen to any of it.
None of it at all.
None of it at all. Like I don't listen to big acts like Ghostman or Scarlord, or I listen to Suicide Boys, but that's about as close as I get to it. I don't listen to anything that sounds like my music.
Yeah. I mean, I went to go see In This Moment back in 2015, and you know how they are. I mean, they listen or they play a lot of metal and all that. And, you know, we were going to meet Maria Brink in the band and all that, and they're listening to Blackmail, which is like a chill step kind of band, artist, not band. But,
Yeah.
And, I thought that was pretty amazing. I'm like, dude, they listen to this too? Like, holy shit.
It's good to not be completely absorbed in the genre that you make.
Yes.
It's good to step outside of those boundaries. Like me, I'm listening to like Russian pop music.
Yeah.
I listen to a lot of Russian pop music.
A lot of Russian, like, okay, so give me an example.
Klava Koka.
Klava Koka, huh?
Yeah, you should look her up. She was in like a Russian version of American Idol.
No shit.
Her music's great. Love her. I listen to her all the time.
I'm gonna have to look her up. I'm always looking for different artists, different genres, because
Yeah.
I love all kinds of music. When I was a teenager in high school and middle school and all that, I listened to all kinds of metal, right? Rock, metal, classic '90s grunge, up to the early 2000s new metal, all that shit.
Yeah, I listened to Creed all the way here.
Oh, Creed.
I fucking love Creed.
I haven't. Okay, so I haven't actively listened to Creed in years. But like Stain, for instance,
Oh yeah,
one of my
Well-
top bands from back then.
yeah.
Edema, Smile Empty Soul. I'd say those are probably my top 3 from that era.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, now it's like music nowadays completely different.
It's very different. It's varying from, production quality to actual composition. Music isn't made the way it used to be because the home studio has brought in the ability for anybody to be an artist. You don't have to necessarily go out of your way and stick your neck out anymore and like hand out flyers and CDs to people.
No.
Like it was in the old days. Now you make a post. Now you buy a Focusrite Scarlett and you're automatically a producer.
Yeah.
All you have to do is join a couple of programs, learn some mixing from YouTube is a university in my opinion.
Yeah, it is.
It is a college. Like you can become a scholar through YouTube.
And you can learn a lot. Like, I don't know about everyone else, but it depends on what I'm looking for.
Mm-hmm.
There's sometimes you have that like one odd situation that you find yourself in, but there is that one video
Yeah.
out there out of all the millions and billions of videos on YouTube that you'll find. And you're like, really? Like that's on there? Like, but it's only one video.
Yeah. But my favorite thing about like learning from YouTube bases over like I'm not saying don't go to school, kids, but you have different opinions and different vocalizations of what you're looking for. So you don't have to go to one person and take their word for it.
Right.
You're paying them to take their word at face value for what they're trying to teach you. With YouTube, you can go and make your own opinions based off of what you were trying to learn based off of your subject matter.
Yeah.
That's how I learned most of what I do today.
Yeah. I mean, when you go back and think about all those years before YouTube, how did people even fucking how did we do anything?
They just believed each other.
They just believed it wholeheartedly, face value,
Yeah.
no big deal.
Yeah.
It's like GPS.
Yeah, no,
You know?
I remember having to I remember I went to go see a show when I was little, 2004 or 2005, and we had to print the directions off of Google Map.
Mm-hmm.
And before that, when I went to shows when I was little, we'd just follow an actual map, like you'd have one in your dashboard or your glove box. And you pull it out. You'd have to have a designated map holder to get around.
Fucking MapQuest. Remember MapQuest?
Yes.
Yes, MapQuest was like the shit back in the day, and that was before all the technology of like we had GPS, but it was like handheld devices that were like $500.
Yeah, and you can stick it to your windshield with a little suction cup.
Yeah,
I got one in my car still.
Yeah?
I drive an 04. I still have a cassette player in my car.
You don't see that shit anymore either.
Yeah, that's actually like my it's my aux cord. I don't have Bluetooth. Like I plug a cassette aux cord adapter into my dashboard, and that's how I listen to my music.
I miss the auxiliary port on phones.
Yeah, I know. It's funny because on the way here, I realized that my phone broke and I had to get a new phone, and it didn't have an aux cord on it. And I was like, oh no, this is not good.
No, it's never good.
But luckily, I have Creed's entire discography in my CD player because of my dad.
Yeah, see?
They were my dad's CDs, so
dude, that's
I
awesome.
ride around listening to Creed all the time.
They have adapters for these phones, but I don't know if how good the auxiliary port on those work. I've never tried it.
They work pretty well.
Do they?
From my personal experience in the other car.
Yeah, because
They work well, but
I don't know, man. It's just kind of weird to me how you would have
loses
something.
the analog quality, in my opinion.
That's what I'm saying. Like you lose that really nice, crisp audio quality.
Yeah.
So Nikki says you're an old man now. Is that true?
She likes to call me old.
Yeah.
I'm not old.
How old are you?
I'm 27.
27. You're younger than I am.
Yeah, exactly. She likes to call me old.
I'm 32, man.
It's because I'm a homebody, and my sickness has made me like limp around the house,
The old limp.
asking for help. So
The old limpy skimpy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes you got to limp around. It's just, you got to take advantage of the age once in a while. Sometimes I limp around, but that's because I've had back surgery and all that shit in my life. So Dallas says the Condemned Crow has a song out that Matt mixed and mastered. Is this true?
Yes, this is true. And what we're waiting on is to remaster it.
Ooh, little remaster action.
Yeah, we're going to get a little bit of different mix in.
Little remaster Blaster 3000.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, his recording quality, like his recording setup is not where we want it to be at the moment. And when he gets there, things are going to be beautiful.
Things are going to be, it's going to be.
Yeah, chef's kiss.
The chef's kiss. That's right. Mwah, Nikki says, don't pin it on your dad. You're a sucker for Creed. He tortures me with Creed all the time. All the time, she says.
You see, here's the thing, and I want to elaborate on this. She thinks a lot of things are dad rock, quote unquote dad rock. When I told her that Mudvayne and Cold Chamber are coming to Syracuse, she said, I don't want any part of your dad rock extravaganza. Whoa. And I said, what do you mean? Have you listened to Cold Chamber? Cold Chamber and Mudvayne are new metal. She's like, no, they're dad rock. Only dads listen to that. And I was like, oh, dude, are we really getting old?
No, stop it.
Are we really getting that old?
No, don't say that. Dude, Cold Chamber back in the early 2000s and Mudvayne.
I love Cold Chamber so much. I have a cover of Rowboat on my computer right now.
Yeah.
I haven't released it yet.
No.
I'm waiting for the day to release it because it's like, I don't know if you've ever heard that song, Rowboat.
By who?
By Cold Chamber.
I might have throughout the years. Just doesn't click with me right now.
Yeah,
I'm sure I have.
That and Big Truck.
Yeah, Big Truck.
Big Truck. It's just a song about big trucks. That's all you need. That's all you really need.
That's all you need.
Yeah.
Hey, I drive trucks, so.
Big Truck.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta have a theme song. So if you were to go ahead and make a soundtrack for your life, what are at least 3 bands that you would have, or our music artist solo, doesn't matter. What would you have as your soundtrack?
Like if I was stuck on an island and needed 3 albums.
Yep.
3 bands to choose from.
Yep. Or like a life movie. This is a soundtrack to your life.
A soundtrack to my life? I don't know. I'd probably choose some like avant-garde noise grindcore jazz band because my life is chaotic.
Yeah. Not Enya?
like John Zorn or Naked City.
Naked City.
They're like grindcore jazz.
I love jazz.
But no, if I had to actually pick like 3 favorites that I could listen to constantly, the Acacia Strain would be number 1.
Okay.
There's the band from Sweden called Vildhjarta.
Vildhjarta?
Vildhjarta. It's Wild Heart in Swedish or Scandinavian, whatever the name of the language is. And Meshuggah.
Okay.
So I love me some Meshuggah.
Meshuggah?
A lot. Yeah. You don't remember Meshuggah?
I don't. I know. How long ago was that? How long ago did they start?
They've been around since '88.
Okay. No,
They've been around for a long time. They invented have you ever heard of the term gent?
No.
Like gent. It's like people call it a genre, but it's not a genre. It's like progressive metal with like down-tuned 7 and 8 strings.
So that's a genre, is gent.
It's like a specific sound. Have you ever heard of periphery?
I've heard of that word.
Okay. I would call them gent. But it's weird. To the gatekeepers, gent is not a genre.
What about ska?
Gent is more sound. Ska?
It's another weird word that's a genre.
The farthest I go into ska is like...
Real Big Fish?
Well, Choking Victim, Leftover Crack.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's like ska, folk punk, kind of like Days and Days.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like that kind of stuff a lot.
Yeah, it's good stuff. I'm not gonna lie. I dive into some ska and all that stuff here and there. So, once in a while I get in those moods. It all depends. Like I listen to all kinds of different music, but I have to be in a mood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's like I love the Tony Hawk Pro Skater soundtracks. That's where I learned about a lot of ska.
Yeah, a lot of ska on those.
Yeah.
Man, speaking of Tony Hawk, did you see what's going on with Viva La Bam, Bam Margera?
I've seen a lot of stuff going on with Bam Margera. I've seen some of Steve-O's podcasts.
Yes.
they're really good.
Oh yeah.
But like I have no idea what's going on with Bam.
So it was kind of tough watching some of that with Bam on there because he was explaining like he had a near-death experience. This guy has gone through hell and back within the last 13 years. We'll just say that.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's been longer than that, but it's progressively gotten worse, especially after his best friend Ryan Dunn died in that fiery crash. And I feel like that was the breaking point for Bam. I think that was the beginning of the end.
Hasn't Phil passed away as well?
I did not see that. I think he's still alive. I know that.
He is?
Yeah, I think Don Vito, his brother, which is Bam's uncle.
Vito,
yes.
yeah.
He died.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, dude, it's just it's sad because we watched these guys growing up. Jackass, Viva La Bam, the Wild Boys, and all that. We watched all these guys.
I preferred the Wild Boys. And like I went back and tried to show Nikki the Wild Boys. She was like, "What is this?"
Wait, she never seen Wild Boys? Wait, what?
No, she thought it was really like out there.
Really?
Yeah. Well, honestly, going back and watching it now, a lot of it did not age well.
I haven't watched it since it was running.
You should. It's a lot of it did not age well.
I haven't watched any of those shows since they were on TV, MTV.
Oh yeah.
Oh, dude, it's been years since I've watched Viva La Bam.
I remember
all
putting
those.
it on the Vivo or the TiVo.
TiVo.
Yeah.
Steve-O on TiVo.
Steve-O and TiVo.
Yes.
Burning them on VHS tapes back in the day so we could rewatch them.
See, I think we're part of that last generation that remembers that. Like,
We're in the in-between.
yes. Yeah, we are. We are. Like, anybody that's probably under the age of 24, 23, I can't say they probably would have maybe used those.
Yeah.
Because I don't see that happening in that time era because DVDs start coming in early 2000s. And if you're born in 2000, you probably missed out on all that VHS stuff.
Yeah.
So I just, it's kind of crazy, man.
Have you seen the price of Legos? I know that's very off topic, but like,
No, it's
do you
fu-
remember getting Legos as a kid?
Oh, yeah.
And it was like affordable, fun thing to do.
was
Dude, like a pack of Legos, they can go up to like $170 at
Easy.
Walmart. Like,
easy.
why are Legos so expensive?
I don't know.
Like,
My nephew's into that.
And it's like none of the kids play with them anymore either. It's like the adults that are buying the Legos.
my wife and I literally just went to the Lego store at Eastview Mall,
Oh,
and we
okay.
saw these prices and stuff. But then we're like, oh shit! Like as an adult, I'd be like, yeah, I totally get that. Like
Yeah.
that's a cool set to have
no,
on display.
I would get it. But then I remembered to myself like what Legos used to cost.
Used to.
Used to. Yeah. Maybe we are getting old.
I think so. A little bit. I mean, granted, it does happen. Mother Nature, you can't beat it.
Yeah.
We're going to get there eventually. Pretty soon, we're going to be in nursing homes and we're going to be spouting off Family Guy catchphrases and SpongeBob quotes.
I'm gonna be the SpongeBob quote one.
You know what I mean?
For sure. I got a lot of SpongeBob quotes in my head. They stuck with me.
They stick with you after a while, especially since it's been on since what, 90? God, I don't remember.
I
99?
think it was 90. Maybe 99. I thought it was earlier than that, like 96.
It might be. I don't remember.
97.
I know South Park was on that was on 96.
Yeah. Do you
And
remember
then-
their pilot episode, the Christmas special? It was like a pilot where it was just the cardboard cutouts.
I know I've seen it, but I don't remember too much of it.
I remember it from like a DVD box set that I had.
Yeah?
Yeah.
The DVD box set.
Yeah. Oh God, no. Okay, we do sound old.
Box set. Think about that one. Box set.
Yeah, box set. Now you can just stream it.
Remember these goddamn VHSs like the Titanic movie that came in like separate cassettes?
Oh yeah, no. Yeah.
You're like, what the fuck? Now you don't even do that.
If you didn't rewind both of them, you'd spoil it for your company.
Yeah, literally. You rewind one, and then as soon as, say you forget the second one, right?
Yeah.
Or even the first one. You're like, fuck. Because now you start watching it. This is your first. So you give it to somebody, right? And they start watching it. You just fucked their whole.
Yeah.
You just fucked it up.
Yeah, they're like, oh, is this how it's supposed to be?
No. That's why I always said be kind and rewind. Otherwise, like Blockbuster. I miss Blockbuster.
Dude, I miss Blockbuster a lot. I did them dirty a lot though, because I would rent games and then it would go by like a month and then they'd charge me in the credit, but most of it was paid in cash, so they just charge it to a credit that you'd never pay back. So I would just rent games from Blockbuster, just like hide them from my parents.
Think about that.
Yeah,
Think about how many people did that.
a lot.
But think about if you knew they were going to close down.
Oh yeah, how many people like rented out the whole store?
Yeah. And never returned that shit. It's in their house still.
I remember back in my day, Netflix would send you a DVD in the mail.
Oh, dude, Netflix? Yeah. Do they even do that anymore?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't. I can't imagine they would.
It's stupid, right?
Yeah,
You cut costs. You don't want to have physical DVDs anymore. Plus, people are probably stealing them anyways, and then you never get them back.
it's the same thing with trying to like sell CDs. Vinyl is the way to sell if you're a musician nowadays because people are real big collectors.
Yeah.
Like a CD or a digipack, like jewel case CDs, they don't really do well anymore. But like vinyls have made a big resurgence in the past 10 years.
Do people take these vinyls, open them up, and use them, or do they keep them in the case?
I know I do. I have a very extensive vinyl collection.
Do you?
I haven't played them in quite some time. Sometimes I like to keep them unplayed, or I'll play them once.
Yeah.
But that's just the collector in me. So some people collect Funko Pops. I collected vinyl.
Yeah. I know. I like to collect some shit too. I mean, I just bought this Mortal Kombat Cabal figure.
I've been looking at it.
It was the last one at the store, and I'm like, it's got my name on it, so I had to grab
You
it.
need it.
Yeah. I have a Noob Saibot one that I want to put somewhere down here. The problem is like I think we're running out of camera space on displaying some of these things. I'm just like, I don't know. But I still like them in the studio because they're there and I see them.
A Noob Saibot is my character when I play.
And me too.
From like XL to now.
Yeah.
Before it was Quan Chi?
Quan Chi, yes.
Quan Chi and Baraka.
Baraka.
Were the ones that I played the most.
Man, I remember the Mortal Kombat 1 from the 90s and playing that as a kid on the Sega Genesis.
Yeah.
That was nuts. But now we like see this evolution of how they went from that to portraying real people and two-dimensional sprites.
Yeah, the mocap stuff that they're doing with all of the moves.
Yeah.
For video games is crazy.
And now they're like full-on 3D, full frontal, that you in your face.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's all real people too. They're just in giant green rooms beating the shit out of each other. Could you imagine getting body slammed by a dude in a mocap suit?
Right.
It'd be terrifying.
Yeah, it'd be crazy, right? Like, here you go. Hey, by the way, you're gonna get slammed on your back and probably penetrated with a sword, but it's okay. You're getting paid.
It'll be fine.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Oh, there's blood everywhere. That's fine. Just clean it up. Get the other guy in.
Yeah. Just don't worry.
It's okay. Yeah, don't worry about it. Everything's fine here. We're making Mortal Kombat. What did you expect this was gonna be? Ballet? Do you think this was going to be ballet? Get your ass in here. You're Baraka. There's a fatality being done on you. Oh, and by the way, you're losing your head. Go.
Get out of here.
It's over. You're going to get joiced.
Joist.
Oh, man.
Yeah, she's staring at me.
Yeah, she does that. She does that. You know, I think about it, and I'm already thinking about it. So my wife and I, if nobody knows already, are expecting our first child in August. Now, yes. Of course, you got to have the kids.
Yeah, I gotta have the golf clap.
So I've already thought about it. Like, you know, as a kid, you know how like maybe your parents have some like creepy statue or something, and it like terrifies you as a kid.
Yeah, my parents had the African fertility statues in the corner of our living room. And I have no idea why they were there.
Yeah, see,
they were creepy.
So as a kid, you have no idea why they're there.
Yeah, you're just staring at them like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah. Well, I've already thought about it. I think our son is gonna not want to ever come into the studio and play with these toys because Joyce is gonna be sitting in the corner.
Yeah.
And he's gonna have no idea why she's even there. It's just gonna exist in his world. There's no story to it to him.
Sleep paralysis demon.
There's no story to it at all whatsoever. This old lady's gonna be sitting here, and to him it's gonna be normal.
Yeah.
Because this is how he's gonna start his life.
Yep.
It's just gonna be full on, full frontal old lady in what was supposed to be a wheelchair with a scythe, and Darth Vader sitting on her lap. And this is gonna be his life going forward. Is just he's gonna come downstairs, turn to his dad's studio, and see that. And he's never gonna want to play with the toys that are in here.
Yeah.
I guess
Cursed Objects 101.
I guess it's a good way to like deter your children from playing with your gear and your gadgets.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Just stand in the corner menacingly with your arms up.
Yep. I mean, my wife doesn't even like coming down here and looking at that thing.
I can imagine if the lighting was lower.
Oh, dude, it's
For
pitch
sure.
black in here most of the time. Like we're not using it. And you just see a silhouette of an old lady just sitting there staring at you.
Yeah.
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 Yeah, this kid's going to be coming down here and looking around the corner of the stairs, and he's going to be like looking at this thing like, I'm not going down there.
Dad, it moved.
Oh, yeah, it winked.
No, it didn't. Are you sure?
Dude, it's yeah, I thought about that, and I was like, yeah, that's probably going to happen. He's going to be deterred from ever coming down here and wanting to play with these toys.
Well, I suppose it might be a good thing in the long run.
You know, as long as it really doesn't move and there's no threat there, you know, it's fine.
Well, yeah, unless it actually moves, then
Then we're scared.
you might have to move.
Yeah, then you full on just, you got a diaper. You got to diaper it up because now you're going to be shitting your pants left and right
Yeah.
when that thing's hovering over you in bed and you're trying to get some sleep because you have to wake up at 3 a.m, but here she is hovering over you now. And it's like The Exorcist, but with a mannequin.
Yeah. Now, speaking of that, we need to go ghost hunting. We should have a special M-Balm live stream of a ghost hunt.
So you're actually going to segue into what I want to say. So I do want to eventually start making different so I don't know if anybody's already noticed, but we are expanding out to then just the one show, right? So now we have ROC HARD, which has been around for a few years now. This is all for music artists and bands. And by the way, if you are in a different part of the country or even on the other side of the pond, if you know what I mean, you can come onto the show and we can do it remotely. And it's all possible now. So
I love you, Jerry.
yeah, I'm sorry that he wasn't able to come on, man. You know, I feel bad because I know he was looking forward to this.
Yeah.
And then he got
He
sick.
had a song come out
He did,
at midnight. Welcome to Rochester.
which is right here.
Right here.
So this just released at midnight.
Yes, it did.
This is the first time that anybody's heard it is today. And this is the album art for it.
You should feel very lucky.
Well, DeadXOLaughter, welcome to Rottenchester, because we are here in the ROC, Bay. And this is his new track. Welcome to Rottenchester. Now, Jerry, we love you, and I'm sorry that we're playing this song and you're not able to talk about it here, but do you know anything about it, right? What was his reasoning behind this track?
Ooh. That I can't speak on his behalf for.
Okay. Oh well, don't worry. Well, he'll be back in studio eventually, and we'll have to pick his brain about that one.
Yes, you will. Very soon.
You know, people have called this place Rottenchester, and I understand we have a lot of problems here.
Yeah.
A lot of carjackings, a lot of shootings, a lot of craziness.
From as a southern boy coming up, doing the reverse switch, most people come down to where I'm from.
Yes.
Coming up here, it's really not that different from the town that I came from.
Okay.
It's actually a lot more peaceful.
Here?
Yes.
Really?
Oh, the town I come from makes Rochester look like the Teletubbies.
You got Tinky Winky over here stealing Kias and crashing into buildings and taking ATMs.
I was about to say that. Like, somebody drove a car into the front of Photo City and the brewery, and like I saw that, and like a few cars crashed into buildings in a row. Like, I don't know what's up with all that, but
Is it like when lights attract bugs?
probably like moths to flames.
Yes. Do ATMs attract criminals,
Yes,
gangbangers, and shit like that?
I think so.
16-year-old gangbangers getting attracted to ATMs, and it's like foresight vision. They know, and it's like a magnet. It pulls them right in. It just goes, poof, and they go crashing right through a building. It's not even their fault.
No, they're not even the maestros. They're they got other people pulling their strings.
Yes, it's the car is behind it. The car is the one that's at fault now because I think the car has a mind of its own. Now we have AI, right?
Yeah.
We have self-driving cars and all these scary things happening.
Yeah.
What if that happened?
The car just decides to be a criminal one day.
Yeah, and you're just behind the wheel.
It's like the same logic of like guns don't kill people. I kill people with guns.
Oh, are you saying that these school shootings and stuff are happening because of people, not inanimate objects?
I think it might be the people.
Oh, okay. Because I was hearing otherwise on social media. Now I know I should always take what I see on social media always 100% at face value.
Absolutely.
But now you're making me question things. Cape Pure Pusher. I don't know about this. I don't know how I feel. I feel lost. So you're telling me what I saw online is completely false.
Yeah, it could be.
Oh,
For sure.
oh.
Unless you were manipulated into thinking that way. by the guns?
I like to keep open-minded here.
Were you held at gunpoint?
No. And if I was, is there a trigger or a hand on the trigger?
I don't know.
Or is it just floating?
Guns can't kill people.
Well, I mean, I sure haven't seen a floating gun just walking down the street towards a bank to rob it or anything like that. Or
That's a good segue to get back to what you were saying about branching out with the show.
yes,
Ghost hunting.
I don't know how we got into this. Happens a lot on this show. Yes. So, as you might think, okay, the M-Balm effect is a show, right? But I'm also thinking to just have it as a brand. Rock Hard's a show on its own with the M-Balm effect backing it, obviously. It's like a presentation of it,
Yes.
but it's for music artists. I wanted, and we already started the vlogs. We already started vlogs because I like to video edit and I like to do cinematography and I like to have a good time. I want to do things like that. I want to take things out of the ordinary. You know what I'm saying? Go on trips, maybe go to abandoned places with permission, of course.
Yeah, you need permits.
Yes, don't want to just break and enter because that's not the right way to do it.
Very illegal and bad.
Yes, even though in New York State they don't really care, but yeah, I'm not doing that.
I want to go to the abandoned ferry village. There's
No.
an abandoned ferry village somewhere in upstate New York.
I have not. Okay, so is it local or?
I think it might be within like an hour or two. But there's like a village. It was like a theme park for fairies, and it's abandoned.
Okay.
And it's like a bunch of old cottages with like, but like natural mushroom circles grow there.
Oh,
It's like a fairy village.
I want to go.
Yeah, I want to go too. It's not open to the public, I don't think, for like filming. I think you need a permit to film there. There's
really?
like a very small window of time in like the actual day you can go and just look around because there's like people there monitoring you.
Okay.
But what about that one asylum?
Which one? Rolling Hills?
Rolling Hills.
Now that one-
I've heard some things and some stuff about the owner.
Yeah, we talked about that last time.
Yeah, I don't remember that. I don't remember what I said.
I don't think it was you that said it. I think it was somebody who was listening to the show that day.
Yeah,
And they explained some
Probably Nikki.
things and some stuff.
because she wasn't allowed to go in because they thought that they were drunk and satanic drunk people that were going to conjure spirits. And like she made up a story, the owner, about like some ghosts that aren't there. I'm just like, why?
Yeah, why would you make up stories?
Like a poop ghost.
Yeah.
It's about a poop ghost.
Oh, are you serious?
Yeah, a stinky ghost.
No,
Yeah, we don't want that.
I never heard of that.
I just want to go in and look at the building.
Well, that's just it. I'm
Haunted
fascinated.
or not, I want to see that building.
I am fascinated by abandoned buildings,
Yeah.
specifically the one that sits on Elmwood Ave and South Ave, the Terrence Tower.
Ooh, I've never heard of that.
What? Oh, dude,
No.
it is the old.
spooky?
Oh, dude. So you can't go inside. I mean, you could if you did the wrong things, but don't do it because this place is in disarray. I mean, there's so much decay to this building. It's been abandoned since 1994. And you can watch videos online of people who have gone inside.
The
And
Urban Explorers.
I
Yeah.
love urban exploring.
Oh yeah, they're really good channels.
The Proper People. Have you ever seen them?
Mm-mm.
No, they're great. They never went inside the old psych ward here,
Mm-hmm.
but they have a lot of different videos of something close to it.
It's funny as I was looking up like where the actual strong psych ward is
Yep.
here because I was going through some psychiatry stuff and I was trying to like find out where the best like person I should go to is, and it kept directing me to that closed psych ward. So I kept typing it into the GPS and trying to call a number, and it kept bringing me up to like I guess like public service.
Oh,
Because I thought that there would be like a real psychiatrist in the building. I didn't know it was abandoned, so that's how I found that.
I'll be honest with you though. Like, so this thing's like what, 17 stories high.
Oh wow!
It's a big building, and if you're not from the area, it's humongous. I have I put a little clip on our YouTube channel. I had gotten some cool like shots of it outside, and I did a time lapse of it. Even got a little thunder and lightning in there.
Wow.
Yeah, it was starting to storm, and I was letting this thing go down. So
Yeah.
last year at the Lilac Festival, I was like, I
I've
want to.
never been.
You've never been there?
No.
Oh, dude.
Nikki's been trying to get me to go, but
You guys should go.
It's between COVID and everything
Yes.
else, it's just
It's been crazy.
yeah. Hopefully this year, if it's still around.
Oh,
I'm
I'm sure it will
going.
be. It was last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, every year is pretty much the same, but I would definitely recommend going.
I want to go for the food if there's food.
There is.
Cool.
There's food.
I hope there's local food vendors because that's really what I want to try out.
Yeah. I mean, there's so much that you see there, but you see the psychiatric hospital, the old psych ward.
Ooh, is it right there on the festival grounds?
No, it's in the background.
Like you can see it.
Oh, you can definitely see it.
Okay.
You definitely see it. And then, that's what we did was we actually parked in the area. And as we were walking towards, I was like, let's go check it out, like on the exterior. And just so happened it was about to get stormy as we were going towards it.
The perfect time to film.
Perfect time. I was like,
Yeah.
yes. And I went and looked back at the raw footage of the time lapse, and I saw that thunderbolt. I'm like, that's fucking awesome.
Really cool. Did you screenshot it?
I did.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I wonder how much it costs to get a permit to enter abandoned buildings with supervision. Because you'd need supervision, at least one law enforcement officer outside, just to make sure you're not going to like dilapidate the building further.
They're never going to let you in that building.
Really?
It's that bad.
Any building? What about the supposed underground subway that I've heard is abandoned?
That one I've never been to. I would like to go.
I'd like to go with permits. Like I said, I want to go legally with
Well, yeah.
supervision so we could film.
Right.
Maybe like if not just like personal use, like maybe like a documentary style kind of informative thing.
So that's the thing about
It would make people want to go even more unsupervised though.
that's the thing about Rolling Hills is they do not want you to
To film and stuff
they
like that.
there's a lot of restrictions in what you can
Yeah.
no documentary type style video. There's a lot you got to go on their website. But if you're looking to do a paranormal investigation special on this show, forget that place. Never going to happen.
Gotcha.
You can't do it.
There was a place somewhere in what like I think it was like 15 minutes outside of my town because Rolling Hills is not that far away.
It's
But
like
the other place. There was another place that I think a local Western New York ghost hunter show did. And,
okay.
like they bought the building to serve it and they rented out for people to film there overnight.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to get back to you on it.
So it's a local
Kind of like, you know, like around 40 minutes outside of Rochester, but
That's
there's
about,
a couple
where-
movies have been filmed there.
Rolling Hills is about that. You're talking about Rolling Hills though.
No, there's another place.
Another place.
Besides Rolling Hills. It's like a house that a paranormal investigating team in Western New York bought to rent
Oh,
out to
The Dandy House.
Oh,
The Hinsdale House.
yes.
Hinsdale.
Yes.
It's under both names. I've heard both. Hinsdale House and Dandy House.
Uh-huh.
So I want to go there.
Yes.
I do.
I want to go there bad. Just because it's close.
So the house itself is haunted,
Uh-huh.
and the woods around it's haunted. I want to go. If we're able to do a special there, you could spend the whole night there.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to go.
Yes.
Because they do overnight stays and they provide you with a certain amount of equipment,
Yes.
not your own video stuff, but like some readers and things like that.
I have 3 HD night vision cameras, so that's no big deal. Yeah.
Fancy.
Yeah, I've been looking to do this. I want to do a special. I've been wanting to.
At that house?
Anywhere. But yes, I would like to go to the Hinsdale house.
Should they book out months in advance?
So it's just a matter of time and, a lot of things are changing now with the kid on the way, and I don't want to really leave Kat by herself you know what I mean? So it's kind of like, it's one of those deals.
Yeah.
But I do want to make that happen for sure.
We have time.
We do. We have plenty of time.
Yeah, we are young.
Yes. I mean, people think in your 30s you're old, but that's not true.
Yeah.
Here's the Terrence Tower. This is located here in Rochester.
Oh wow.
Look at this guy. This is a foreboding structure that just sits there and has been sitting there for almost 30 years, abandoned.
I wanna go inside.
So when you look at this, when you
This
look
is
at this,
enticing.
when you look at this, Matt, what do you think about? What do you think? What comes to mind when you see this?
For me personally, it looks like a hospital. I don't like hospitals.
Yeah. So this is
It just reminds me of bad times.
this is something that I don't even know how I found out about this place, but when I did, I've been like obsessed with this building. I'm like, I want to learn more. Now I've read some stories online. Granted, I don't know if they're true or not, but there was one incident that I saw, and I don't know if it's true, that
Allegedly.
when I was reading up on these different stories, Allegedly back in like 92 or 93. It was like right before this place closed down, like a few years before. There was a person that was inpatient there and somehow escaped, got down to New York City and stabbed a woman on the subway.
Oh.
And then I also saw that there were people badly treated there, obviously.
Well, psychiatric hospitals that were open at that period of time from like the 70s to the 90s were not fun places to be.
Some people committed suicide through the windows.
Yeah. Yeah.
There was lobotomies, I think, that I read about. There was people.
I could believe that for sure.
People doing testing like that on humans, on the patients. A lot of sick shit that happened there. And I just, so I look at that building and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to think about how it would be when it was active.
Chaos.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It would just be a nightmare. I'm surprised they haven't torn it down.
Well, that's just it. They want to.
Is it because it's a historic building?
No. So I've heard some few different reasons. One, it would be very expensive to tear down. I think it was like $32 million to tear it down. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, please correct me. And another reason is because of the asbestos that's inside.
Oh, yeah. They did be putting asbestos in everything.
That building is full of it.
Yeah.
You go inside there without a mask or respirator, I wouldn't even go there with a mask. I wouldn't even go there at all. Let's put it that way. But if I were to have gone inside, I would want a respirator.
Yeah.
No damn way I would go in there just nothing on my face. Because you're going to find yourself probably coughing up blood in the next 30 years. Forget that.
Yeah. No good. No bueno. No good.
Nikki says, if only the Dansville Castle wasn't falling apart.
Ooh.
It's an old hotel turned psych hospital. So much history there. Now that sounds interesting to me. I would love to know more about that.
Yeah, we can go inside of it with permits.
Yeah.
Legally.
Well, that's what I'm saying, man. Like, how much are these permits going to cost, and how do we do it? You know what I mean? I would love to do it.
If it's under $1,000, it's swingable.
Yes.
If they want it, if they want us to like, if we say like, look, we're not a big production, we're not going to gain a significant amount of monetary value from this.
No.
We could more than likely get a permit per person, or even better, just pitch in for one.
That would be cool.
And just be like, listen, 24 hours, supervision on the property.
Yes.
Like, no weapons, no nothing, no illicit substances. We're just here to learn and document.
Well, that's just it. They look at people, they might see how we dress and how we look and all that and be like, nah.
We could go get suits from Goodwill.
Dude, and I know I shouldn't say stuff like that, but it's true.
Yeah, they do profile you when you go to ask for permits and things like that. They like evaluate the risk factor.
Right. Because I got profiled at Rolling Hills. So you've watched ghost hunting shows, paranormal investigation shows.
I'm a sucker for them.
Yeah.
I love them.
You know how they wear those vests, like tactical vests, to keep their equipment in and all that? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Omen and I did that back in 2017. Nothing happened there. The second time I go into that place, I wasn't wearing it, but she remembered. She remembered me, and she said, don't ever come here with that vest on again. It scared people. I go, what? Scared people? They're here to get scared, first of all, anyways. Yeah. Second of all, have you not seen Aaron Goodwin wearing those vests? Because he wears the same kind of vest that we were wearing.
They let Zach Bagans into that building. That's enough for me.
Oh, dude, don't even. Oh, boy. So he is in very hot water.
Oh, hold on. Let's talk about that because I love Ghost Adventures.
I do too. But
what did he do this time?
So, I don't know the guy. Never met the guy in my life.
Me either.
So I'm not going to sit here and judge the guy.
Can't speak for him.
Nope, can't speak for him. Won't speak for him. But I will say that Nick Groff, who used to be on that show with him, has come out now and talked about some things that have happened and the reasoning why he's not on Ghost Adventures anymore. Ooh. Now, he spoke out about that, and now there's a whole bunch of other paranormal investigation shows that were canceled all of a sudden, like Destination Fear. Just oddly enough out of nowhere, which was on Travel Channel. Mm-hmm. And Dakota, who runs that show, he said that he doesn't believe Zach had anything to do with it. But it's no secret that they're not friends anymore.
Yeah.
Now, think about it this way. Zach was a producer for Destination Fear.
Well, I was going to say, Zach has his hands deep into Travel and Discovery Channel, I could imagine, but yeah, they've been incredibly over-exaggerant in their past 2 seasons, which is like kind of the reason I watch it, just because like I know Zach is bullshitting the whole time. That's what makes it funny and enjoyable to me.
I get the entertainment side of it.
Yeah,
But when I
he
watch-
does mock a lot of the places they go.
Like-
He's
like-
very disrespectful.
Like antagonize.
Yes.
Look, I'm interested in the paranormal for what it is. Okay,
Yeah.
it's like a I want to know what's out there, what's real. I'm not here for the entertainment when I watch those shows. I'm here for
Yeah.
like the evidence. I'm here to get blown away by real evidence.
Yeah, I haven't seen any real evidence in like the past 2 seasons of Ghost Adventures, other than the fact that they started using like LiDAR scans to map out buildings and like heat map.
I like
things.
that.
That was a really cool idea.
So I don't know if you've noticed this, and I don't know if anybody else out there has noticed this, but that crew has been kind of fighting more in those episodes. Now I don't know if those are.
I think it's like purposeful confrontation.
Do you believe at all though that they might have bad terms with Zach after all these allegations have come out?
I don't know. I mean, I could see it. Zach doesn't. I feel like Zach is exactly who he is in those episodes.
Yeah.
Very over the top. I think he's a very over the top person.
Like he doesn't
But I
turn that
can't-
shit off. He's
Yeah,
like that
yeah,
in real life.
I think that he really is just like that.
Yeah, because when I listen to Nick and talk about all these different things, I go, man, it kind of, I mean, there's been people on Twitter and all that shit talking smack about Zach all this time about how he's over dramatic
Yeah.
and that he's got an ego. Again, never met the guy, can't tell you that.
Yeah.
Don't know the guy from Adam to Eve.
It's TV.
It's
And
TV.
It's a huge TV channel, so everything could just be over embellished.
Right. But then when you hear things like that and you start seeing these shows getting canceled, you start questioning,
Yeah.
okay, what's really going on here? Does he really have a hand in them getting canceled? Like, is he pulling these? Is he telling the network, hey, pull these shows because A, B, and C? Like, what's going on, So then you start wondering, okay, what's really going on? Like, I understand that some shows might do better than others, but do you think that they're blowing Ghost Adventures out of the water? Or
I think it is embellished to a point with Ghost Adventures specifically. Because they've been doing a lot of the I'm being possessed or affected out of nowhere a lot.
Yeah.
In the past 2 seasons, because I've been watching it my whole life. I feel like they're really over embellishing some things for. I think they've just been on for too long.
They've
been
been
on forever, dude. They're on season 27.
it's a long time.
Yeah, it's either running out of ideas, but the house calls thing that they did,
That was cool.
that was really cool. I really enjoyed that.
I was happy to see that they were able to have Aaron and all the other guys just kind of do their own
Zach
thing.
at home.
Yes.
The last 2, I think, was that the double part episode in front of the house on Haunted Hill.
Yeah.
In California. Those were pretty cool episodes. But the psychic they got to sit in the chair.
Yeah.
A psychic magician who pretended to be possessed.
See, I'm not a big like I don't know about
I want to
possession.
see like thermal imaging.
Yeah.
Noises and like voice recordings. I don't want to see
No.
a magician pretend to be he's possessed.
I'm not big on that.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like electromagnetic fields can affect you personally, but I don't think it's going to make you want to like hurt your friends.
No. Going back to Destination Fear though, they're actually branching off now. Now that they got canceled, they are actually going to have their own YouTube channel.
Where are they based out of?
I don't know exactly. I don't know where they're exactly based out of or where they live, but
Mm-hmm.
they're on YouTube now. They're going to be doing their own show on YouTube, and it's going to be called Project Fear. Project Fear, not Destination Fear, Project Fear. So go check that out. Those guys are awesome. I like their show a lot because they actually challenge their own fears. They will pick out, like they'll have, so it started off with Dakota picking the places in the first season. Just, they would drive to those places. Then he'd give the lowdown, hey, this is where we're at. This is where we're going next. And then they'd have to go in blind, He'd give the lowdown of what that history was and all that. but they had no idea while they were traveling to these places what they were going to find themselves into. Then he gave them the options to choose different places. Now, the thing about that, I like the fact that they not only sleep alone, but they do different things like, okay, no flashlights. Try to survive the night without a flashlight in the dark. That's the kind of stuff I want, because you know why? It tests you.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Yes.
That'd be a lot of fun.
It tests your psyche, and it definitely opens up a whole world of, okay, what's going to happen? If you're in the pitch black darkness in an abandoned psychiatric hospital, no one's near you. They're like on the other wing of the building. You're by yourself, no flashlight, whatever. What's your mind doing?
Yeah, and even if you don't see anything physically, your mind's going to play tricks on you
Absolutely.
the whole time.
100%.
It's going to be a mental warfare game.
And that's just it. Like, what drives the mind to fear the unknown?
Yeah, we do fear what we don't understand.
That's
And
just
dark
it.
psychiatric hospitals would probably be one of those.
Dude, I just, there's something about sitting alone in a place that you know has history.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it takes balls, it takes guts. It's not
Trying to recollect those memories inside of your head, trying to picture them as you're sitting there.
yes. Putting yourself in their shoes
Mm-hmm.
and trying to kind of at least get a sense of what they were feeling.
You
Yeah.
have to have a certain level of respect to do something like that in a building.
Yes.
That's been through so much history.
It's like rolling hills. There's plenty of places to go there by yourself. One place in particular is Shadow Hallway.
Hmm.
So Shadow Hallway is a hallway inside Rolling Hills Asylum, where if you look down the hallway, because there's ambient lighting from like the exit signs,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be able to see like shadows running across the hallway. And that's cool. Because what if you're sitting there by yourself, ain't nobody around you, and you see something dark across the hallway? What's your brain going through then?
How am I going to explain this to everybody else?
You can't.
You can't. There's I think two of the best haunted locations I've ever been to are from my hometown in Wilmington, North Carolina. We have one of the World War II battleships docked in our downtown area. And they let you go on the battleship and tour the entire thing.
Really?
Yeah. The battleship has been on Ghost Adventures, Ghost Hunter, every major one you could think of, that battleship has been on it. But there's a place in the sick bay and the infirmary where you just do not feel right. It feels like there are magnets all over your body when you walk into the room.
Really?
It's crazy. I'll have to ask I'll have to ask some people in my family, because I know that they have more pictures than I do, but there's pictures from all over the battleship of just white smoke that should not be there
Really?
anywhere. Yeah.
That's crazy.
And there are Civil War bunkers on the coast and the islands when you go down onto the beach, because Wilmington is like, it branches off into a very small peninsula.
Yeah.
And littered throughout the national park of the beach are these giant concrete structures that are they're just squares with a door and a single brick missing in the back of it, because that's where they would burn the dead.
Jesus.
And like you walk into them, they're in the middle of the woods surrounded by sand on tiny islands. You have to wait until the tide goes down to walk onto them. They're crazy. They're really, really strange to walk through. They're practically untouched by nature. There's still like fragments of disintegrated cloth and all sorts of stuff all over the ground. You can find it all over the island, but a lot of it has been defaced by kids.
Of course.
They go in with Sharpie. It's like JNR Love 2000 yada yada yada, like in a building that was used for like Civil War cremation.
Yeah.
And they say that you can still hear the cannons fire late at night, but actually we found out that the National Guard was posted there and they were detonating explosives underground that came in off the port, because Wilmington's the biggest port city in the East Coast. So everything that would come through, they would get contraband and they would detonate it under the island. And they didn't tell anybody for years. And the museums, they'd say, "Oh, you could hear the sound of the cannons." And it was just the government blowing shit up.
Lo and behold, the government would be behind that conspiracy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh.
Yeah. They had to release it because the kids were walking through the woods and they were doing ghillie suit sniper training.
Jesus.
On the island in unrestricted areas.
Yeah.
So just like in the public. out in the woods where people were trying to find the bunkers and film them and stuff because there was a guy, like people would go and live out there. So they started doing training out there to scare the homeless away.
Yeah.
And then they had to tell everybody that the National Guard was actually based on the island.
Because eventually people are going to be like, what's really going on here?
Yeah.
Especially with it being dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, what if something happened? Like somebody walked in there and got somehow blown right up, you know?
Yeah.
Like that would have been reality right there.
Yeah.
And what's the government going to say? Oops, sorry.
There's a bunch of abandoned cemeteries on the island too. You walk through the woods and like you'll see the ocean and there's just a bunch of nameless gravestones. They're so old they don't have dates on them.
I want to go to this road in New Jersey. I think it's called Clinton Road. And it's like 10 miles long or something. And apparently if you go there at night, there's like phantom trucks that follow you and try to run you off the road and they disappear.
Is that the one where you can roll uphill too?
No, that one's actually close somehow. It's local here actually. That one you're talking about is called Spook Hill.
Yeah.
There's a story that there's an old Native American chief that is trying to protect you or get you out of there or something like that. I don't know. And tries to push your vehicle up the hill.
It's just an electromagnetic field.
It's
It's one of those rare places on the earth where things go backwards because of the polarity of the planet.
yeah. It is weird. I was there as a kid because my family went there to go check it out, and I saw it happen where it's literally almost like I don't know if it's an illusion or whatnot or what's going on really, but like yeah, it's basically as if you're going up the hill for no reason.
Yeah.
And even if you try to like stop it, nah, it's gonna keep going.
Yeah, it just keeps going.
Just keeps going.
Dude, there's another cool place in North Carolina called the Devil's Playground. It's like a circle of sand in the middle of the woods, like out in the middle of nowhere where nothing grows. You can't get it to grow, and it's a perfect circle. Like,
So
it's been measured and everything. It is a legitimate, natural, perfect circle where nothing can grow inside of it. And if you put a tent in the middle of it, you wake up with the tent outside of the circle every time.
what's the explanation behind that?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows.
Oh,
And I don't even know if the tent thing is true, but people have they've put coins in it. They've put random stuff like trash, and it always ends up outside of the circle when they go to check it.
Yeah, I'm interested in that stuff.
And it's no bigger than this room. It's just a tiny circle in the middle of the woods.
Oh. Losers for Life says Devil's Tramping Ground.
Yes.
It's 15 minutes from my house. Oh, dude. Oh, God. Oh, so Losers for Life, man. You gotta do us a little experiment on your side and go check out that place and let us know how it goes, and you can film it and we'll air it here, and we'll. I hope everything's okay when you do it, though.
Yeah, go sleep in it.
Go sleep in the tent.
Go sleep in the circle.
Yeah, I don't know, man. That's nuts.
Yeah. See, confirmation right there.
Yeah.
I was starting to think to myself, I was like, am I remembering this correctly?
Yeah, the Devil's Tramping Ground.
Yeah.
Maybe we can do a special on that.
There's a couple of really cheesy Tubi horror movies based off of it.
Really?
You ever just go on Tubi and just watch the worst horror movies you can find?
No, but I'm gonna start
They're
doing
my
it.
favorite thing to do is watching terrible horror movies.
Like new ones or like old
Oh
ones?
no, just anything.
Anything.
Like, I mean, it like terrible found footage movies are like the way to my heart. I love them.
What do you think of VHS?
I hail Ratma.
Yeah.
I like the VHS 94 was pretty cool. The most recent ones that have come out haven't really like grasped my attention like they used to.
The first one is probably my favorite one.
Yeah.
Of all time.
The one with the rat god in the sewer though, that
Yeah.
recently, dude, hail Ratma.
Hail
Yeah,
Ratma.
I love that one. That one's really cool. I talk about Ratma all the time.
All day, every day.
Yeah.
Losers for
No,
Life
I-
says, I stayed over there or overnight when I was young. Some say it's an old Indian burial ground.
It could be.
I mean, I don't know about you, man, but I don't think I would mess around in those old burial grounds like that. Because that's
No,
just
I
asking for trouble.
It's just disrespectful. I wouldn't do something like that.
No, I don't. No, I'm all about respect. Let the dead rest, right?
Yeah.
You can't just go on their grave and start doing all these weird experiments, right?
Yeah. I saw a meme, I think it was like last week. It was like the reason they're like ghosts aren't real, like when you die, your soul can't move with how fast the planet's going, so all the ghosts are in space, and that's why the aliens are mad at us because we keep flinging ghosts into the solar system.
They're so pissed off. Like, come on, we don't have enough
It's
room
like,
for these
we
guys.
don't want these guys.
We don't want them here.
Yeah, it's like, huh? Yeah, you are never really are where you die because it. I was like, maybe he's on to something. Maybe all the ghosts are in space. Space ghost.
Nikki says, talk about how your parents' house is on a burial ground. That house is so haunted.
I did grow up in an incredibly haunted house.
All right, so this is back home, right?
Yes, in North Carolina.
Okay.
So there, before my parents' house was built, they purchased the land in the subdivision while the subdivision was being built. So our house was like one of the first 10 that was there. They tore down a graveyard and moved the headstones to a church beside the subdivision and didn't move any of the bodies.
Are you serious?
Yes. So my house was on top of
Bodies.
yes. I don't even think my parents remembered it. I went and looked it up myself. But I remember growing up, there was always stuff running around the house. I would be woken up by people that I didn't recognize. I was talking to my parents, like my mom would tell me I would talk to people that weren't there. But as a child, your mind is more susceptible. I feel like that's why I'm really big into the paranormal. I grew up in a crazy ass house. I had some friends that would come and stay over. My friend Mark, specifically, I remember this one time he was sleeping in the recliner in my bedroom, and he stands up real fast and tries to yank me out of bed because he was like, "Why the fuck did you just do that to me?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" He got hit in the forehead with my Game Boy that was sitting on top of my dresser.
What?
It flew across the room and smacked him right in the head, and he had a welt and everything.
Jesus.
I had a kid named Wyatt. I remember his dad was a cop. He came to stay over the night at the house, and he kept seeing what he described as a blue-eyed woman in the closet just staring at him constantly. And then it ran towards him, and he ran into my living room and called, like, he tried to call his dad. So he like called 911.
Oh, no.
And had his parents come get him because he was so scared. And that kid avoided me like the plague.
Never saw him again.
Never. And I was like, I never saw any of this stuff that they were talking about.
Jesus.
But I would have friends that would refuse to come to my house. But the most recent time we were there, I think it was last year, me and Nikki, she was sleeping, and I woke up and I felt my leg get pulled in my little brother's room. I was staying in his room, and he took my room when I left.
Yeah.
So I was staying in his room. My leg got pulled. I was like, oh, why am I being woken up right now? Then I was like, oh shit, there's nobody here. And I was like, okay, that's normal. That's normal for this house. So I went to go walk down the hallway, and I saw a cat run in the bathroom. The cat there had been dead for 5 years.
Jesus Christ.
I went into the kitchen to get some water, and I turned around and I saw a hair fly from the corner of the wall, like somebody was peeking around, and they moved so quickly that their hair spun around.
Yeah.
And it looked just like my grandmother. Because the thing about my family, we keep everybody's ashes. There's like around like 7 people's ashes in that house on top of whatever else is there. But if you're sitting in the living room, no matter who you are, I don't care who you are, you sit in my parents' living room and you look down into the hallway, you will see somebody who's about 8 feet tall that doesn't move, and they'll stand there and stare at you. So when I'd sleep in the living room at night, I knew it was time to go to bed whenever I would see them. It was the strangest thing, and I never saw him again after I was like 18.
So that was something that, oh God, you don't think it was somebody that lived there or anything like that. You think that's
The house was built. We were the only people to ever live in that house.
Right. Do you think it's an elemental? It's not a former person?
What I like to think of, whatever it is, some kind of like malleable energy that can take forms. I think it might be some kind of shape shifting, whatever it is. I don't think it's a plethora of an amount of people. I think it's an amalgamation of like energy that makes you see what you want to see, because I've seen the weirdest things, and you feel uneasy. You stand, it's like you don't feel like somebody's behind you. You know someone's there.
I would
and
even
it's
venture to
strong.
I would even venture to say that you might have a portal over there.
No, let me tell you, my mom went to go see 3 different psychics, and they said that there was a portal in the hallway and that I was a conduit for the portal. And they wanted me to move out of the house at one point because they thought that I was like a conduit for the energy in the house. So my mom would give me Palo Santos and stuff to burn.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, she hated the smell of even Febreze or candles, so I couldn't burn incense and things like that. But she said that there were several psychics that said that her son had opened a portal inside of the house, and unless he left, the spirits would not calm down. And when I left, it got worse.
It got worse.
Yeah. So I was thinking to myself this whole time, I was like, so did I do something bad? Because I don't remember. I can't remember back to one point in time where any of this could have happened. And that's like where I kind of like started to believe that this stuff might be real.
Yeah.
Once I started to grow up and realize that, like, it's almost like having an imaginary friend that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
Growing up in a haunted house. It was just spooky.
Yeah, so I got into the paranormal because, and I've told this story probably plenty of times on the show, but long story short, I saw this headless figure in the mirror in our old house in Ontario.
Spooky.
Yes, and it was like the mid '90s, so I was like really young. And
You're Canadian?
no, Ontario, New York.
Oh.
You see, I should have said New York after that. No. Ontario, New York. Saw this headless figure in the mirror, and it's always been in my head, like, what the hell is that?
Well, once you see them, it sticks. They stay.
Because I know for a fact, if I had never experienced that or any other paranormal thing, I would say I would be a skeptic. I'm skeptical on a lot of
For
things.
sure.
Paranormal would be one of those top things. I'd be like, that's freaking bullshit.
Yeah.
I can't do that though, because I've seen and heard things and experienced things that I can't explain. So I know there's something there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
You get numb to it after a while, especially growing up in a house like it.
I never had anything crazy like you've experienced. Now that sounds like something that would completely blow it out of the water, where you have to believe.
Yeah, yeah. It almost, like, I say it so nonchalantly. It, like, I've recited the story so many times where I don't even get emotional about it anymore. It's just like, yep, that's a thing that happened.
And that's norm. It's
Believe
just
it
normal.
if you want.
Yeah. Well, that's just it. That's my main goal, is for myself to capture something on film and on audio.
I have a theory about that.
You do.
About catching things on audio and video. I think it's just, you can get very small fragments, but I don't think we're ever going to get to a point where we can just like fully videotape something. I feel like the energy that ghosts are made out of, I don't think that ghosts have anything to do with religion, no matter what religion you are. I think it is just the transposition of energy from inside the brain that is dispersed, because matter can't be destroyed unless you're splitting atoms, so the energy has to be recycled somewhere. I feel like it's just all a collection of energy, and photographing energy is just very, very hard unless it is in a very high volume of mass.
I think we talked about this when you were on last time with Jerry, but and it's been confirmed now, because I saw a little bit of Nick's show, and he kind of had the idea that, you don't hear this a lot on television or anything like that, but the paranormal being a somehow interaction with other universes or like different time.
Yeah, alternate timelines and things like that.
Yeah, like you're interacting with like maybe people from the past, and they're alive in that time, and they might think you're the ghost.
Oh, dude, I thought about that. It's like, have you ever thought about, like, you see a Victorian style ghost, and then they see you in like a Supreme shirt,
Yeah.
and like some Air Jordans, and they think you're a spaceman.
Like, whoa, wait a minute, what's going on here?
Yeah.
Yeah, could you imagine? Like, I wonder if that's happened in the past, where anybody's had those kind of sightings of.
Oh, it'd be scarier for the people in the past to see a ghost from the future.
Oh, absolutely. If they were interacting with somebody with like all these weird like technology.
And like, I've thought about that too, because people bring up the point of like, why don't we see caveman ghosts?
Right.
But I feel like it's because the energy dissipates over time and just fizzles out into nothingness. I think the energy from ghosts, and there's only a certain period of time that you could be qualified as a ghost before you just become one with the universe again. As in, like, your energy just like fizzles out and dissipates. You're only here for a certain period of time.
I mean, that could very well be, but then it also begs the question, is there an afterlife? Is there ghosts that were
I don't
of the
think
dead?
we would be conscious of it.
See, that's what interests me then. That's
If conscience is transferable like that through energy, then I don't know. That sounds like hell to me. To live infinitely sounds like the idea of hell in itself.
to just be wandering a building for eternity.
Or even just living now. Like, what if we're living this life over and over and over again? It's the same life, we never experience another one.
Well, that's another theory
That
I
would
have.
be purgatory. Like, I feel like that would be hell in itself. Like, like not having any progress.
That's another theory I have. Is like, what if you know how deja vu happens, or you like have a premonition of something that is going to happen, and it does happen, and it happens verbatim. Like,
And you feel it too.
Yes, you know what's happening, and you're like, wait a minute, this is exactly what I dreamed of, or whatever. What if we're dead? Or you know how they say you relive your life when you die? What if we're already dead?
Living it over and over and over again. That's what I'm saying. That could be hell. Life could be what hell is.
Yeah,
And then we wouldn't be conscious of whatever is outside of it because
Right.
we're stuck.
and that's what
Which is scary.
well, that's what I was gonna say. That's what scares a lot of people. Is what if that's how it really is?
That's why a lot of people believe in religions. It's the comfort blanket that numbs that kind of ideology of like, oh my God, this might be it.
See, that's just it, man. Like, I don't know. Religions. I'm not a big religious follower, but I want the truth. I want facts. I want to know what's gonna happen.
We'll know when we die.
That's just it.
That's it.
We
That's
will.
the only way you'll know.
You're right. Losers for Life says, I thought the same thing. I'm guessing it's something we said just a moment ago. Says, just saying this pod is hitting the spot right now. I am absolutely loving the paranormal.
Yeah, about every time we get together, we talk about ghosts, which I love.
I love it. Andrea's on with us. I feel like I'm living purgatory right now. And then she's laughing at it.
It could be.
You know what?
It's a
It wouldn't,
possibility.
it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different theories I have. And one of them, people hate when I tell them this.
Yeah.
Yes. So you know Jurassic Park, right?
Yeah. I love Jurassic Park.
I give people this example a lot. You know how the first movie, the T-Rex is going on a fucking manhunt for that guy who runs into the bathroom?
When you gotta go, you gotta go.
You gotta go, you gotta go. And he's sitting on the john and that T-Rex rips the top off.
Yeah.
Well, the next time you watch that movie, I want you to do something. When that T-Rex takes a bite out of him, turn the TV off. End the movie right there. That's my one theory about death people hate.
Yeah.
That's
could
it.
Be nothing.
Nothing.
No, that's my same opinion. To me personally, I think that whatever energy you have, you're not going to be able to experience it when you die. I think we just go into our actual thought process goes into a pit of nothingness.
Yeah.
And then we're just gone. It makes me feel less nihilistic about things. It makes me appreciate the life that I have more because I'm not looking forward towards something.
Yeah, but that also interests me too. And like I said, it's just one of my theories.
Yeah.
But I'm also interested.
I'm pretty dead set on it.
You are?
Yeah, I'm pretty dead set on the fact that there's nothing that we can experience.
No, I know there's different near-death experiences that have been documented, and people have talked about their experiences of lights and seeing themselves.
The release of DMT inside the brain.
How do they explain the fact that they're actually seeing the things going on overhead and seeing their own body and then actually being able
Like
to
astral projection?
Yeah, like basically,
Yeah.
and getting the word, like remembering what the doctors are saying as they're dead, quote unquote, and they're seeing this from a overhead view. Like, how do you explain that with all that?
It could just be a severe case of like a hyper overactivity in the brain. Like your brain is conscious, but not to a point where you realize that you're conscious. It's recording the information as you're hearing it, even though you can't think of that information. Once you gain consciousness again, it's like a computer, like a backup reserve, like a data transfer comes back in to where you could think about it once it's occurred, and then you're able to actually process it again.
Right. And that's why I say I'm a skeptic on the afterlife. But again, there's certain things that do make me think, okay, there's got to be something more that we just don't know.
Yeah.
And if there is an afterlife, cool, we get to see everyone again. If not, we're not going to know any better.
Nah, if there's an afterlife, I want like a farm with 1,000 chickens and a '67 Camaro.
Yeah, all the good shit.
I want to be able to like pick and choose.
I don't typically think about heaven and hell in the aspect of how
Yeah, as like a physical sense.
No.
A place of a burning lake of fire on Nil. I don't think that's
No.
They were stories to get people to act right.
And that's what I, usually say when people like to talk about the Bible and all these different, like the Quran and all that. Think about it this way. When you go to elementary school and you play the game of telephone, what happens?
I'm going to be honest, man. I don't remember the game of telephone.
So somebody starts out with a message and you have a whole line of kids. Say you have 7 kids in a line.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
The message gets misconstrued because it changes.
Yeah.
Now that's happened. I believe this wholeheartedly. I believe that what the Bible is today is probably nowhere near what it was thousands of years ago when it was written by.
No, it's very cherry picked.
Yes.
I mean, I will go ahead and say it. The Bible is a really good book to read. I've read it 7 times. I like the Bible. It's a good fictional piece of work, but it's over glorified in the sense where they were just the Bible is the golden rules of kindergarten if you cherry pick it, but the stuff that actually happens in the Bible, I don't think any of that shit happened unless the burning bush that Moses saw was just a psychedelic tree,
or the talking
jackass
jackass
the whole time,
the talking donkey.
Yeah.
And I've always said that because I've read it once, cover to cover. I listened to it, I read it, on and off because driving, I had nothing better to do. I was like, all right,
they listened to an audiobook of the Bible.
Basically,
Yeah.
I was like, you know what, let's do it. Okay, I got nothing to lose here. Let's see what this is really about. And holy Christ, no pun intended, is that Old Testament very brutal? That is brutal.
Oh yeah, the Old Testament is like death metal bands could take some pointers
right
on like taking stuff from the Old Testament.
The book of Leviticus.
Yeah, the King James Bible in the New Testament is like very, very, very. Oh, we love our God. The Old Testament is like you better love your God.
Yeah, I always when I'm out and about at a thrift store or something, and I see these like little cutesy children Bibles or whatever. Yeah, I don't know why that's going off. That's a little weird. Nobody even talked to Echo. That was weird. You heard that, right?
Yeah, I thought Joyce was talking to me for a second.
I wouldn't doubt it. Maybe she has something to do with it. Joyce was a real person.
Oh?
Yeah. I wasn't joking when I say that she actually had a microwave on her lap, the real one and everything, yeah. But going back to the the cutesy little Bibles, I always smile when I see those because I'm like,
yeah, the ones that are like 50 pages.
Yeah, they're 50 pages. They got cute animals on there, and everyone's smiling, having a grand old time. And I always think back to that Old Testament of like God going, "Fuck you! You didn't obey me!" And like I'm like thinking like these kids have no idea what the real Bible's even about. And I'm just like,
Don, if everything in the Bible was real, we need to look back on one historic piece of evidence that we just should have erased. Why'd he put 2 mosquitoes on that ark?
Right. Out of all the things in the world,
they're technically the most useless creatures on the planet.
They're
but
bloodsuckers.
They cause the most deaths of anything on the planet.
Yeah.
People die from mosquitoes more than any other cause of death.
West Nile disease,
Yeah.
all that fun
All
shit.
that jazz. Yeah, people think serial killers are bad. Mosquitoes.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes are mass murderers.
Yeah, they're worse than Dexter was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mosquitoes are fucking useless. How'd they end up on the ark?
Exactly.
I want to know that one.
Andrea says, I agree about thinking there is nothing after. This is why I'm scared of death. And again, this is, people always are like, oh, death is going to be great. It's going to be heaven. And but think about it this way. Every animal, including humans, is scared of death.
Yeah.
I don't give a shit who you are.
I just feel bad lying about it.
No,
Trying to comfort somebody by saying it'll be okay. To me, it feels like lying.
Yeah, I don't like doing that.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Because I'll be honest with you. I'll be blunt with you and say, dude, I don't know. I can't tell you. And to be honest with you, I'm hoping everything will be okay. But
yeah,
when that day comes, when we're gonna find out, I can't convey that message after the fact. I'll know, but that's it.
I can't tell you unless we can, in a really cool, fucked up way, tell everybody like go back and haunt them. If we get to choose where our energy goes.
Harry Houdini said he was going to come back and try to reach out to the living after he died.
Yeah.
And guess what happened? He never reached out.
No. Wasn't there a place? Have you ever, dude, there was a, come on, brain. There was a Ghost Adventure show with Kesha. Kesha had her own.
What?
Paranormal Adventure Show on Discovery.
I didn't see that one.
Yeah, I got the Discovery app.
Oh,
got
I
the
do. I got
Adventure
Discovery
Plus.
Plus, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, I'd be on a talk slut over here. I love Discovery Plus.
Yeah, she's a talk slut.
But yeah, no, Kesha's got one where they went to like this bell tower that Houdini lived in, and they were trying to like talk to him, and she was just like, "Oh my gosh,
Did he reach out?
we can't talk to Houdini. I think Houdini is here right now." And they were like, "Oh my gosh, Houdini's here!" Like, no, the fuck, he's not.
No.
He stayed there for 2 weeks. Why do you think he's there?
Right. Like if he's
Or like there was a Ghost Adventure episode where they tried to go to these like stone circles in the desert where Aleister Crowley had just visited. They tried to talk to him. I was like, dude, like the Rolling Stones bought Aleister Crowley's house, the one where he wrote the Book of Law and everything. And I don't even think they went to that one. I don't think you can investigate Aleister Crowley's house.
I don't think so. I'll be honest, I don't think
I
you
would
can.
like to, but I think that's like super protected.
Yeah, I think there's definitely no way you're gonna get inside there.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
I'd love to.
Oh,
I would
dude.
love to go to Aleister Crowley's house.
Would you go to a deep, dark, haunted by demons location? Would you risk it?
Yeah,
You would?
yeah. If anything follows me home, it couldn't be worse than what I lived with.
Oh. Yeah, I don't know, man. The 8-foot tall creature you saw.
Yeah,
It wasn't even a dude, right? It was a creature.
it's no physical like you couldn't tell what it was.
It's an elemental,
It's a
man.
giant shadow figure that shape shifts and
Yeah,
zips around. Doesn't look like a person.
that's what I'm saying. So when you see stuff like that, how do you explain that? Right?
I usually don't. I haven't talked about it in the public. Like I don't really like. I'll tell people.
This is the
every
first
now and
time.
again. Yeah, this is the first time I've said it out in like public. It's
Oh,
just
shit.
like, yeah.
It's a first here for the M-Balm effect here in the Rock Hard, man.
Yeah. No, it's yeah, believe it or not, I know why I was scared. So
Yeah.
that's all I need to care about. I don't care if you believe me or not.
You know, that's the way I look at it. Because I've had my experiences and I've told people and I've even said them on the show. And if people
Yeah.
believe it, they do. And if they don't, they don't. But I saw and experienced what I experienced, and that's all that matters.
Yeah. That's why we need to go ghost hunting.
And that's why I always want to capture something on film or something, because I want to be like, dude, this is it.
Yeah, this was the thing. Look at my thing. I saw this thing.
So when you see these things, what's your like? When I see these things, my brain is trying to make sense of it. It knows it shouldn't be seeing what I'm seeing, but I'm seeing it and I'm trying to make sense of it. What's your brain do when you see something crazy?
When I was little, I would just freeze. It felt like sleep paralysis, but like you're not asleep. Have you ever had sleep paralysis before?
Too many
It's
times,
terrifying.
mostly in high school.
Most of it is induced by stress.
Oh,
Yeah, like most sleep paralysis, people that experience it is just from incredible amounts of stress.
well then what's my problem? Then how come I'm not having it now? I had a lot of it in high school, and then it
Yeah.
stopped. And then
There's something to do with your brain developing, how your brain develops.
it's so weird though.
could be like more open to and susceptible to things when
Yeah.
you're growing up.
And see, that's the thing about all these different experiences. Some people have no idea what that's like.
Yeah,
And be thankful, because it's not easy to be in that
Like, "Oh, that's
situation.
crazy. You're crazy for thinking that.
Nah, dude.
You just haven't. You're gonna shit your pants.
Yeah.
Imagine like, you're 30. You haven't like experienced anything paranormal. And something does happen to you.
Dude.
It's gonna change who you are forever.
Well, that's
You're
what I mean.
scared.
Yeah, because I know there's people that, in our age group that have never experienced any of this stuff.
Yeah, yeah.
There was a guy, oh boy, this is 11 years ago.
Mm.
So we went to this place, my family and I. My parents are into this shit too, man. So it's cool because we end up going to these places together, and they're into it. And
Oh, that's really cool.
it is cool, and we've been doing that for years. We've been doing investigations and all that. And there's a paranormal group here in Rochester, Rock City Paranormal, Project Paranormal. Yeah, they're great people. Love them. Shout out to them, by the way. They've taken us along with them for a couple of different investigations, and but before that, we met this guy and his girlfriend. There was a thing that people would go to, and they would talk about the paranormal or whatever.
Mm.
We went there and we met this guy and his girlfriend, and he was about 36 years old. He's like, I've never experienced in my life any of that stuff. Never once. And we went to this place called the Cartwright Inn. It's an abandoned restaurant in Henrietta.
Oh, okay.
And we went there with this Rock City Project Paranormal. Great place. I don't know what shape it is now, but it was in pretty bad shape when we went. Would not recommend going there again, probably. You got to think this 11 years ago. We went there. We did an investigation. It was cool because like walking through the kitchen area, everything was still there. Like the alcohol, the silverware, all the equipment, all there still. And it's been abandoned since, I think, 2004.
Oh, that's crazy.
So we go there. I didn't really get anything out of there, but it was cool nonetheless. And like, so this guy, he's talking to me. He's like, dude, we got to do this more. I said, yeah, we should. And within a few months of that, he died.
Oh, that's a turn I wasn't expecting.
Yeah. At the age of 36. I don't know the real cause of death.
Yeah.
But it's like, dude, what happened? Because you're supposed to be out there looking for the paranormal, not becoming the paranormal.
Ooh, yeah. That's a harsh way to put it. I get that.
Like, I feel bad because, like, we had an idea in mind. We wanted to start a paranormal group. This guy was really interested in it. We would text and all that stuff. Like, dude, let's make this happen. And then this happened. My mom calls me one day and she goes, "Are you sitting down?" I go, "Yeah."
No.
And she goes, "Yeah, James is dead." I go, "What?" I go, "What do you mean?" "He died." The fuck, dude? Like,
yeah, that's fucked up.
Yeah. So I don't know what happened exactly, but he knows the answers to all this stuff.
Yeah.
And that's what makes you wonder, dude. Like, if somebody has gone to places before, maybe messed with something they weren't supposed to, does that affect you in medical ways?
Yeah,
Could
it definitely could. It definitely could.
Because I wonder.
I grew up a very, very sick person. I was very sick growing up. I think it definitely had something to do with that house.
You think so?
Yeah, I was diagnosed with arthritis in every one of my joints when I was 9.
Man.
I missed like almost a year and a half of middle school because I couldn't do anything. Yeah. I couldn't dress myself when I was little. I definitely think it had something to do with how negative that house was.
Because I know you can't prove technically
you
that...
technically can't, but the doctors also couldn't figure out why this stuff was happening to me.
And that's what makes you question it. Because I know somebody who's had unfortunate circumstances happening in their life.
Yeah.
Whether it be physical or just tragic events that happen. And they do these things. But then you start wondering, does it have anything to do with going to these locations? Does it have anything to do with trying to contact these spirits or whatever you're trying to contact? Because it does make you wonder.
Well, why is Zach Bagans still okay?
Right. And you know that dude.
You know that dude's been to a lot of messed up places.
And he's been egging him on for years.
If anything, Aaron's gotten the worst out of it.
Aaron, when they went to Bobby Mackey's Music World, I guess that's what made him and his first wife divorce.
Wow.
Because I guess she was like having constant nightmares of Bobby Mackey and all this other shit. And like,
oh, wow. That's crazy.
Yeah. So with that being said, that might have a hand in that, right?
Yeah.
But
what time?
It is currently 3:42 p.m. Eastern time.
Oh, wow. You want to run a break?
We can run a break. And then I want to talk about some other things and some more stuff.
Yeah, some more stuff. I'd be glad to.
Absolutely. So we hang on tight. We are going to come back after the break. So don't go anywhere. Hang on.
The M-Balm effect will be right back.
Do you feel dirty for subscribing to OnlyFans? Get absolutely filthy and subscribe to the M-Balm effect.
Shove it in your mouth! Just shove it in your mouth!
before the break, we were talking about some paranormal things here, some things and some stuff, and some things.
Yes, indeed.
Yes, indeedy.
Does this need to be closer? Can you hear me better now?
Oh, I can hear you better now.
Okay.
So, I was just explaining during the break to Cape Fear Butcher, aka Matt, that you know, in this house, there's no like bad history here. There's no like, there's only 2 families that lived here before us.
Yeah.
You know, I've experienced some things in this house, but nothing of like substance. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't anything crazy. But to give an example, there was one time I looked at a photo of my grandfather and I from Cat and I's wedding, and it was one of the last photos I got with him. I took it out of the drawer, I looked at it, put it back in, and a box from Amazon that had a umbrella for the patio set that, you know, was pretty heavy. It tipped over for no reason. It's been there set for like 3 months at that point, and it tipped over. And I tried to replicate that, and I got it on my Ring camera, which I thought was cool.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I got that on video.
I want to see that.
Yeah, and that was back in 2020, the summer of 2020, and I tried to replicate it. I was even jumping up and down after I put it upright where it was.
Yeah.
And nothing.
Couldn't shake it.
Couldn't shake it. Nothing. So, is it legitimately paranormal? I don't know. Is it coincidence? Absolutely. And then there's another time where I was in the bathroom washing my hands and I heard a woman voice talking. Couldn't make out what it was being said or anything like that, and I thought my wife was home. So I peeked out and I was like, "Oh, you're home?" Nothing. Nobody was there. She wasn't home.
Okay.
Could it have been Echo like she did just a moment ago?
I think
Could have been.
Jeff Bezos just sends ghosts to your house whenever you get packages.
Yeah.
That could be it.
It could be very much the truth here. That could be the case.
The Jeff Bezos ghost.
The Jeff Bezos ghost. I like that. But dumps, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a zinger.
That is a zinger. So, with the paranormal being said, what about aliens? Do you believe aliens are already among us?
I believe that there's, in the words of some great philosopher I don't remember the name of, there's either a shit ton of aliens or there's none at all, and both are equally terrifying.
It is kind of terrifying because that would mean if,
you know, you're either completely alone,
right,
or there's a bunch of things out there that are way smarter than you or way dumber. You never know. I mean, most aliens, I mean, technically an alien could be anything that was not derived from our planet. It could just be an amoeba on an asteroid. That could be an alien.
True.
And it could infect our entire species and we'd never see it. That would be scarier than people like creatures landing on a ship.
Yeah.
A bacteria from space would be more terrifying because you couldn't see it and you couldn't reason with it.
No, you can't reason with
and
something like
our
that.
immune systems would have no idea what to do with it.
Right.
That would be scarier.
Because it's a foreign disease or whatever, bacteria.
Oh, yeah.
That would cause disease.
Like a brain-eating virus.
Right. What do you do?
What if it's airborne?
Oh, you're dead.
It'd be terrifying.
You thought what we went through was terrifying? That would be even more terrifying.
Yeah.
With COVID and all that?
Absolutely terrifying.
This would be, I think, 10 times worse.
Yeah, no. No, I think there's at least four or five species that have been to the planet. I don't know if they're here now, but have you seen all the UFO stuff that's happened since January? A lot of people are saying that Project Blue Book is
what is
in
that?
effect right now. Some kind of crazy stuff that Eisenhower enlisted, and a bunch of people said he made a pact with gray aliens for human experimentation, and that's why there's like 300,000 missing people a year for no accountability. They're like trading humans for genetic experiments for the safety of the country.
Could you imagine that? If that was found out to be true?
I could believe it at this point. At this point, nothing would surprise me. But like I don't know. The existence of like chariots of the gods and like fire from the sky has been prominent in our human civilization since the Babylonians and the Egyptians. They've been talked about for thousands of years.
Have you ever heard of the trumpets from heaven?
Trumpets from heaven? You mean like the 7 trumpets that sound, or?
Well, that's just that's how people describe this sound.
Yeah.
It's like a metallic kind of sound that people hear throughout the world, and there's like tons of videos of it on YouTube, and like it's very eerie.
Have you ever seen War of the Worlds?
I'm sure I have.
The movie, I think it was Tom Hanks.
Yeah.
With the tripod,
Yeah.
alien things that suck people. You know that horn that sounds?
Yeah.
That kind of reminds me of what you're talking about.
My guess would be the tectonic plates rubbing against whatever.
Could be them shifting. Yeah.
Shifting, like logically.
Yeah, because the Earth is just a giant magnet. It emits frequencies and sounds all the time.
And that's the problem with that, though. And we've talked about that on the show at one point, that we don't know anything about our oceans, like what's down there.
Oh yeah, no, we know less about our oceans than we do outer space.
Doesn't it scare you to a point, though?
Oh yeah, no, there's definitely some shit in the ocean.
Dude.
There's, if anything, UFOs are our least concerns. The SFOs, like the unidentified, or USO, unidentified submerged objects, because there's a lot of sailors that say they see lights in the ocean, and then it's blamed on bioluminescence, but bioluminescence is very scarce throughout the ocean.
So when I think about that stuff, I'm like, would you rather go in space, or would you rather dive, not dive, but travel down deep into the darkest depths of the ocean?
Hell yeah. I would go down to the depths of the ocean
over space,
and I would look out into the vast emptiness, and then I would hear an echo, a slight, faint echo whispering, tree feet. And then it would get louder, and then out of nowhere, a creature from the Paleolithic era would ask me for $3.50. That's how I would imagine going into. I need about $3.50.
I need about $3.50.
Goddamn
Damn Loch Ness monster.
The goddamn Loch Ness monster.
Dude, classic South Park. Man.
Yeah, no, there's definitely some Paleolithic era creatures still down there. For sure. For a fact. Loch Ness monster probably came up in Ireland or Scotland at one point in time and just went back down in the ocean. Godzilla's definitely down there. I know that for a fact. I mean, with all the radiation and the nuclear tests that we do in the ocean, there's some kind of crazy ass thing down there in the ocean. Have you heard about the base in Antarctica that was attacked by a giant octopus creature? It killed 37 people and it was wiped from the public records.
No. When was this supposedly happening?
I don't remember the year. I'd have to look it up, but a lot of weird stuff happens on Antarctica. It's one of the only places on the planet where the ownership of the land is divided through multiple countries. There was, I hate to bring them up, but it's one of the reasons Hitler was so infatuated with Antarctica, and why they say that there was nuclear testing and all sorts of weapons creations happening in Antarctica, because they think they found something there.
So out of all the things that, let's just give you this rundown. Okay, so paranormal. You got ghosts, afterlife. You got aliens. You have Nessie and all the crazy creatures down in the ocean.
Oh, Loch Ness monster for sure.
Loch Ness monster for sure. And then you have conspiracy theories. Now, we learn about conspiracy theories, like say say what we have heard over the years of conspiracy theories. Say they're true, or maybe they're not. Who knows? But the fact is, which one scares you the most out of all four?
Adrenochrome.
So the conspiracy theories.
The conspiracy theory of adrenochrome in the Bohemian Grove, how the elite drained the fear and adrenaline out of infants to live forever. That one scares the shit out of me.
I mean, yeah, it's an interesting take for sure.
Scientifically, it's possible. But
Is
are
it?
they doing? Yeah, well, they can extract DMT from the brain through stimulation. You could definitely. It's the same concept to me as like, if you're hunting, say you're a hunter, and you're going after a deer, you would choose an arrow over a bullet. If you scare a deer, the adrenaline pumps through its blood and it taints the meat. If you kill a deer without it noticing, it doesn't have that chance to pump the adrenaline through its body.
Right.
So there is a science behind what adrenaline does to something before you consume it.
Which is why the taste would be different.
Yeah.
It would ruin it.
but being able to extract like adrenaline pumped blood, I don't think it scientifically does anything, but the fact that people could think it does and they're doing it, that's pretty scary.
Well, if you believe something wholeheartedly enough, you would probably go through these great measures to do it, right?
Yeah. But have you ever heard of that conspiracy theory?
The adrenaline.
A lot.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of the quote unquote QAnon people were talking about it, but it's been a thing since Alex Jones exposed the Bohemian Grove
Yeah.
in like 2004.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't condone or speak for Alex Jones.
I was just going to say, I don't listen to Alex Jones.
No, me either.
I mean, I kind of make fun of the guy when he talks like this and turns the frogs gay.
I mean, dude,
But
what was it about anyways?
okay, so actually he was kind of right.
Okay, because
on the
I'm
frogs
curious.
thing, because of the fluoride and the chemicals that are pumped through our drinking water.
Yeah.
It was changing the chromosome of aquatic life.
Really?
And it was making frogs produce asexually. He used the term asexual as gay.
It's not.
So it's not the same thing
It's not the
at
same
all.
at all.
So yeah, no, it was making frogs change their hormones in retention ponds and stuff where our water goes through, like because like birth control and estrogen pills cannot be filtered out of our water system. So we drink it with the fluoride they add into it. And the frogs were doing that too, and it turned most frog species around residential retention ponds asexual.
Yeah.
And he took that as them being gay.
Yeah. I don't know where he got that from.
No, not at all.
That was the wrong verbiage.
Oh no, absolutely.
But at the same time, though, I always wonder, though, he probably. I would take a gander that this guy says a lot of things on purpose.
Oh yeah.
And then, of course, that whole thing with Sandy.
My dad was in the CIA.
Yeah. And then the whole thing he did with the Sandy Hook, and that was controversial.
That's a can of worms I'm not touching.
Yeah. But,
I think he's still in trial for that.
he is. And now I don't know what the outcome's going to be, but I'm going to take a guess that he is going to have to pay some money towards families.
Yeah. I mean, aside from the money, he should just feel fucking bad
Yeah.
for denying whatever.
Yeah.
We'll move past that.
Yeah. We don't have to talk about
But out of the conspiracy theories that scare me the most, it's not aliens, it's not ghosts, it's like the idea that there is some kind of elite cabal that is draining the life force of people. That would be scarier to me because like you can't stop that if you wanted to.
Yeah.
It's like there's the 1%, the billionaires everybody's mad about, but the people above them, I think that it's equally more terrifying to realize that your votes don't matter, your opinions don't matter, your politics don't matter. None of it matters to these people who are like intangibly above you to where you will never be able to touch them.
Yeah. And even people on the level of billionaires and all that,
They can't.
they can't.
They can't do anything because money doesn't matter at that point.
No. It's one of those things that it goes beyond the value of a dollar.
Yeah.
It goes beyond all that. So like you hear these things about underground shelters, all that stuff. Do you believe those?
Underground shelters for what?
Like apocalyptic times, end of the world, where
Oh, you
all the
mean like
elites.
you mean like preppers or
No, like the
Oh.
elitists they all have these big shelters and
have
vaults.
you ever seen the movie 2012?
Yes.
You know how they are fighting over who gets a ticket onto the ark that
Yeah.
they built?
Yeah.
I feel like that's definitely a thing. There's definitely plans to keep humanity archived if something like that does happen. Like in Norway, there's a giant shelf of ice where they've kept every form of seed of every plant in existence, and they're frozen down there naturally. So if anything were to happen to humanity, they could go there and relearn agriculture.
Yeah.
The same thing with those kind of places. I mean, there's mountains in Colorado with tunnels that run so deep you would never be able to trace them, even with LiDAR, because it's all coated chemically to prevent radar penetration.
Yeah.
Those kind of places definitely exist. Who gets to go is a mystery. We'll never know that. Like unless I don't even think a millionaire would be able to do it. You'd have to be top one, like 0.11%
to get there.
to even think about getting something like that. But I believe that there is something like that all over the planet, not just America.
Right. That's what I was getting at. Because I've heard different things about, oh, it's all of the world's elite that have these underground vaults and stuff that they would stay in. Have, if there ever comes a time where the earth is in deep shit and society is about to collapse and, maybe the surface is inhabitable anymore.
Yeah.
But
No, they're definitely there.
yeah, and I'm very curious about that because it's like almost like you were just mentioning with 2012 and all that. It's like media is kind of like putting it in our face, like it's here. Like Fallout, for instance.
Yeah.
Do you believe like maybe not the game in itself, but do you believe that if there were vaults for normal people that were able to afford it, do you think they would do experiments like they did on the game?
Well, with human curiosity being the way it is, yes.
Okay.
Because humanity is always striving to push forward. And if an entire form of society is wiped out and you don't have access to that information, you start the learning process over again. So you would have no other option but to experiment on your people.
Like cryogenics.
Oh, you mean like Fallout 4?
Yes.
How you wake up and you're trying to find your child?
Do you believe that that's a form of preserving life? Do you think that would ever happen?
Cryogenics is a touchy subject, in my opinion, because it also falls on the idea of trying to pinpoint consciousness. If you could pinpoint consciousness and download it into something, then yeah, cryogenics would be possible. But after an organism experiences brain death, I don't think the energy in the brain could come back into the vessel.
Right.
Once you're technically brain dead, you're brain dead. And when you come back from a very short period of time, you're vegetabilized. You're not the same. You are slurred speech, the whole 9 yards. So cryogenically freezing somebody, it would have to be not actually freezing in the sense that we would think of it as like stone cold, like frozen, like temperature.
Yeah.
It would be you pause them in a moment of time, as in like the only thing I could think of to relate to it is how bears and crocodiles and sharks hibernate, where they slow their heart rate down to a very slow minimum pace over time, and they could come back. You would have to slow the heart rate down and keep the heart beating. You couldn't actually like freeze them with temperature. Temperature would kill, but if you would slow down the heart rate, you could technically prolong an entire being. But when they come back, it would be like, in Kill Bill, when she wakes up out of the coma and she's like, wiggle your big toe.
Yeah.
It would kind of be like that on a massive scale. You would have to go through severe and very rigorous, like physical readaptation into life. You'd have to learn how to talk again. You'd have to learn how to walk. But if nobody's around to do that and you just wake up one day, it would be like waking up as an infant.
Yeah.
You wouldn't know what to do because your body and brain wouldn't remember it.
Right.
But I think that's what cryogenically, quote unquote, freezing would be like. You just have to slow the heart rate down to where you can maintain vital organs.
Yeah, because like you said, if the brain shuts down completely, we've seen it already, and everything else.
It's why we can't revive
Right.
frozen specimens of mammoths in the Siberian ice caps and things like that.
Right.
They're just dead.
Right, because if that was the theory and if it worked, those would be possible to bring back to life, which are not.
Yeah.
But
it's hyper extended hibernation instead of like cryogenics would be the way to live forever.
I want to go back on what you just said a moment ago. Downloading consciousness into an AI or a computer. Do you believe that's ever going to be possible?
It could be. With Neuralink and what Elon Musk is doing with Neuralink, even though he is an incredibly controversial human being.
Very.
I do believe that he is the future of like quote unquote cryogenics. And if he can figure out a way Well, it's not even really him. It's his team that he endorses. Neuralink isn't Elon Musk. It's just something that he pays for.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to put down the Neuralink team at all, because I think that those are some of the smartest people on the entire planet. To be able to reactivate and invigorate the mind electronically, that's something that is so profound beyond my own knowledge. I can't even begin to comprehend it. But what they're doing now, like how they had a monkey play Pong with its mind.
Yeah, that was eye-opening. Incredible.
Yeah.
Actually.
If they are able to start the path with neurogenics and implementing it into the like normal society, it would cure a lot of things. Not only sending signals to your brain, like, you know how depression and a lot of bipolar is different electromagnetic energies being misfired through your synapses.
Yeah.
To be able to block those signals with a chip in your brain, like to cure depression without a pill would be profound for society. To be able to send electrons and neurons through the bloodstream to cure anybody who say lost a limb, they could no longer experience phantom limb syndrome. That would be incredible.
It would be incredible, because somebody was talking about,
But actually downloading conscious, I think we're very far away off from that. I think the Neuralink implants is something for the physical body and not for the actual mind.
Yeah.
At this point in time.
somebody was talking about losing a finger and being able to feel that still, even though they lost it, even years after the fact. And I thought that was amazing.
Yeah.
But going back to the artificial, or not artificial intelligence, that's coming next. Going back to the consciousness in the computer, I personally believe and that's a big if it ever happened, I don't believe for a second that it's going to be you. It's going to be maybe your memories, maybe your personality, but it will not be you.
No.
It can't.
No, it definitely couldn't be. Like if you were to just download and upload your consciousness, whatever vessel you put it into, it would adapt your ideas, but I don't think it would adapt you.
No, I don't think
so.
so.
But where we're at now with that kind of conscious pinpointing technology, what Neuralink I think it would do was put us on the path of finding or trying to pinpoint consciousness, because you can't like bring up a map of the brain and point out where it's at.
No, it's impossible.
Nobody knows where it is. Nope. But to cure those kind of ailments, I think, is paramount to our existence as a species.
Absolutely. Nikki says it's going to be like Black Mirror. And that show, as entertaining as it is and interesting,
It's very, very not even borderline where we're headed. It's like, it's almost like a roadmap. It's kind of like how we were saying before.
Yes.
A lot of media likes to leak out what's going to happen in the future, and then it happens.
Yeah.
Kind of like how the Ohio train fire was predicted in a movie in Netflix about 1.5 years ago.
So, and
or
that's
The Simpsons. The Simpsons have been doing it for years.
Oh, absolutely. And that's what I wanted to get onto is Black Mirror. Now, my wife and I have been watching that show, and we've watched it.
Show.
It is, and if you haven't watched it, I would check it out for sure. It gets your brain thinking.
The Boston Dynamic dogs.
Oh yeah,
and that one black and white episode
that was one of my
chasing you with like the thing they euthanize pigs with, the air guns. Like they've started putting Boston Dynamic dogs on campuses with.
It exists.
Yeah, no, they're real. They're really real.
And that's why I told my wife, I go, with all the artificial intelligence that's happening right now, and these episodes with Black Mirror where they have those little things they put on their head and they play these virtual reality games and they're really there. I said, we're probably not far off from something like that down the road.
We're really not.
And what you just said with those Boston dogs, they already had it in Russia. So originally these things came out in Boston. They were going to be cop dogs.
Yeah, cop dogs.
I don't even know if did they keep them or did they get rid of them?
They have some social, like they're not armed, but they are patrolling.
Right.
Like vessels where they're armed with 360 cameras, and they're basically like what Big Brother warned us about in like the anarchy stage of London and the Berlin Wall.
Yeah. Well, funny enough, because who could have guessed that this was ever going to happen? China had their own variation of this.
The social credit score.
Sold it sold the dog robots to Russia. And what do you think the Russians did? They put guns on these motherfuckers.
Oh, see, I thought you were going towards the episode of Black Mirror where like the lady couldn't buy coffee at the shop because her social credit score wasn't high enough.
That's another one.
China's been implementing that for a while, and we're not far off with an actual credit score. All they would need to do is implement behavior into your credit score.
You think it's coming here?
I think it is.
Because with all the stuff that's happened, not just here in New York State, I'm talking the country. I mean, we literally just had a school shooting a few days ago.
I didn't hear about it.
You didn't hear about it? No. Nashville?
Tennessee?
Yeah. 3 children and 3 adults shot to death.
I didn't hear about that.
Oh.
I'll have to look into it.
I'm not going to get into the details. I think we all know the story. I mean, unless you didn't hear about it. It's controversial because the person that committed...
I know where this is going. I heard about it.
Okay.
I heard about it.
Audrey was the name that they were using, but apparently they were transgender.
Yeah, I heard about that one.
Yeah. But you have things like that happening. School shootings. They shot her and neutralized her there at the scene. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing, there's controversy around it. I'm not getting into it because it doesn't, we don't need to. It's not what we're here for right now. But the fact of the matter is there's so many different tragic things happening in this country, let alone the world.
They happen in tandem all the time.
Yeah. And to be honest with you, it's almost like prison systems and all that, they're kind of like, I don't know. It's almost like society's kind of like turned away from that.
Prison is free labor.
But do you think a credit score would hinder people from doing bad actions? Because in China, you go and do something like even graffiti a building, you're pretty much screwed for the rest of your life.
No, it's the same thing as I said with the Bible earlier, it being a comfort blanket the idea of hell to scare people into doing the right thing.
Yeah.
They would see enough people and be scared shitless into never doing anything wrong ever again. If it's fully implemented, people would follow it.
Eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth, all that stuff.
I mean, the Constitution isn't really even our Constitution. They're just suggestions at this point. Our government doesn't follow them, that's for sure.
No, they don't.
So what's to stop them from implementing something like that? It's the idea of the censorship of TikTok. This whole thing that's going on with TikTok isn't about TikTok.
No,
it's
about
the internet as a whole.
And that's what I try. People are like, well, it's Chinese owned and they're trying to spy on us and all this. They don't
Let
need
them.
But
what
here's
are they
the
going to
thing.
do with the information?
They don't need TikTok.
Yeah, they
to
don't
spy
need
on us.
TikTok.
They don't.
We have phones that are trackable and capable of doing anything. Like other people are like, oh, I'm not giving away that. They're going to know where I am. Do you have your access permitted on your phone for your location? Because if your access is permitted on your phone, anybody on the planet can know where you are.
Yeah. Hackers from Romania could know where you are.
Romania.
Hey, don't put them out of the story, man, because they know what they're doing over there.
No, I have a Romanian cat.
Oh, yeah. Little Romanian kitty cat.
Yeah, little Romanian kitty cat.
So there's a story behind this cat, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a story behind this cat. Nikki, I don't know if you're still watching, but do I have permission to talk about our cat?
I saw pictures of it. She's adorable.
Yeah, we ended up getting this cat from Greece, and the cat was from Pennsylvania. From Pennsylvania, it was in Toronto. From Toronto, it was in London, and then before London, it was
What? She's traveled all these places?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then from
she says yes, LOL.
Okay.
There you go, man. You got the opening.
Okay.
Green light.
So she's from around Bram's Castle in Transylvania in Romania.
Jeez.
Romania. So I have a Dracula cat.
That's amazing, dude.
Great.
So
she's beautiful, and I love her, and she's naked. She has no hair.
No fur whatsoever. When you how'd you come across this cat?
It's funny. One of our old coworkers' moms was like, "I'm giving away this cat," and I'm like, "You're not giving away this cat. The cat's too damn expensive." And apparently, she got sick, and her mother got sick on hospice and needed to take care of her, and she was about to go into surgery. So she had bought these cats from like a private dealer, and it just so happened to be that week we got that really bad storm.
Oh
in
yeah.
Rochester, the winter storm.
Yes.
All the shelters were full up because the animal patrol went around and collected up all the strays they could so they wouldn't freeze to death.
Right.
So she couldn't give the cats to a shelter. She couldn't sell them for like the thousands of dollars she wanted. So she decided to give them away for free.
Jesus.
So I have a spy in my house because she has an untracked microchip in her neck.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure it might be like a listening device. Wouldn't it be funny if like we got this Russian cat, like a Russian spy cat,
Yeah.
and I sent them to a house with a dude that never leaves and screams at his TV playing Dark Souls all day and get no information at all.
Could you imagine? Like they expect some like really good juicy information.
It's like, fuck, I knew I had you. No, your health bar was so low. Just screaming.
What
at
is
the
he
TV.
talking about? I have no idea. These fucking Americans. Back in home country, we scream at TV, or back in the TV screams at you. But no, this is what they have to listen to. They thought they were gonna get some juicy, like American top secret confidential stuff, and
Nope.
no, they get this.
We just, she has to wear sweaters. She has more shirts than I do.
Oh, this kitty cat's spoiled.
Oh, she's really spoiled. Very, very, very spoiled cat. We love her. Love her to death.
So you have a living, breathing, walking, meowing collectible in your house right now.
Yeah. She's like an infant that'll never grow up. You got to wipe her down every day. You have to clean her nails.
Yep.
To wipe her we have to wipe her ass. It's like, and since she doesn't have fur, she gets this coat of like yellow and orange on her from her natural oils.
Oh, okay.
So she gets oily and slippery and shit. So you got to like clean her every day.
Yeah. How does she take to the water and stuff?
She likes water.
She likes it?
She likes water a lot.
She's probably used to it, though.
Yeah.
I think cats can get used to it. I've seen videos of people bringing their kitty cats on kayaks and stuff.
Yeah, yeah. No, she likes water. She likes getting a bath because she knows she's not going to be all sticky.
Yeah. Whereas a cat with fur would just be like, no, get the fuck away from me.
Yeah. Yeah. But no, she is very aware that we take care of her. So she's like the clingiest goddamn thing on the planet.
That's so awesome, though.
Yeah. No, she's really nice. I love her.
Dude, I love cats. I know people give cats bad...
Her name is Oni.
Oni?
It's short for baloney.
Baloney.
Baloney. Yeah.
Or Lagna.
Bologna.
Bologna.
We call her Bolognese, Balaguna, everything you can think of.
She's probably thinking to herself, why the hell am I hearing different words every time somebody calls for me? Like, well, it kind of happens here with our cats, too. I call our cats.
There are cats here.
Oh, yeah, there's two.
Remind me to touch your cats later.
Okay. I'm going to touch the pee, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Need that.
We'll see.
Need that in my life. Oh, no.
Oh, no. That's not good. Oh, yeah, because, you know.
No, don't do it. It's not good.
Don't touch my kitty.
It's not good. Don't do it.
Oh, man.
I'm a virgin.
No, I love cats, man. I think they're great. You know, I love animals. I'm an animal lover. We have a cat that I got from 10 years ago. She'll be 10 in May. And then we just got a calico ghost. Actually, is the reason why we have her, and we rescued her, so that was cool. So we have a 2-year-old cat, and going to be 10 and going to be 2-year-old cat in the house.
Nice.
Yeah. At first, the older one didn't want anything to do with her. She fucking hissed at her. Didn't want nothing to do with it.
Yeah, that happens. It's a territory thing.
Yeah. I mean, they get along for the most part, but there's times where you still hear them kind of getting at it.
Yeah.
You know?
Our cats still don't like Oni.
No?
I mean, they're warming up, but...
Takes a little bit.
Yeah. It could take up to 18 months for a cat to, like, accommodate to another cat.
I could see that.
Yeah. They're really petty. Cats are fucking petty.
They can be. You know, I know there's not a lot of cats out there that could be affectionate.
Yeah.
Ours are pretty affectionate. I mean, what about your cat?
Our cats are very clingy.
Very clingy. So
they're clingy to us, but not each other.
Not each other, though.
Yeah.
It's kind of how it is.
They're like fighting, like they see us as territory.
Yes. That's why they rub on you.
Yeah.
Get their pheromones going.
Yeah, no, they gotta.
Yeah. But when they do that, they mark you. And then when the other one does it, they got to remark you, so you keep getting rubbed on. It's
yeah, no, it's nice.
It's like a little orgy with all in one.
It's real nice.
It's real nice. It's nice. You know, last time you came here on the show, You had longer hair.
Yeah, I cut my hair for medical reasons.
Okay, I was gonna ask, did you get sick of it? Like,
Nah, medical reasons.
okay,
Yeah, it's just my scalp gets painful, and I have to apply medicine to it, and the hair was just
too much.
Yeah, so it's just like, ah, fuck this, I'm shaving it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm fucking shaving it off.
and he did. You miss it?
It's just hair. It'll grow back.
Yeah.
I got time.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
Come on, don't say that. You got time.
Just being realistic.
Hey, man, you got time.
Yeah.
You'll be growing it out again, going to these shows, being on stage.
Speaking of shows.
Yes.
Yes.
You got a little show coming up, don't you?
I wouldn't call it a little show.
I know. I don't want to. I don't want to be the one that announces it, but you know.
Yeah, no, I have a show opening at the Montage for Aether Realm, Hunt the Dinosaur, and Inferi.
Inferi.
Harry Potter metal.
Yeah.
And Grave Sites and Fractured Fortune.
Okay. Are we gonna hear Deal or No Deal on here?
I'm thinking about it.
You thinking about it? So this is the show right here, May 21st. So Hunt the Dinosaur is gonna be on there. Fractured Fortune. Dude, this is gonna be sick. Where's this at again?
This is at the Montage Music Hall,
Montage.
downtown Rochester on Chestnut Street.
Hey, yeah, we've been to a lot of shows over there, and to be honest with you, it's like I said, it's one of my top ones. You got Photo City, you got Montage Music Hall, you got all these different venues, but those are my two top favorite ones to go to. You know,
I'm gonna talk Slut It Up.
Talk Slut It Up, boy. You got to do it.
I got tickets for sale. If you want tickets, I got tickets. I really need to sell these tickets. They sent me a lot of tickets.
He's got to sell these tickets. There's a lot of tickets he needs to get rid of.
One up.
Give him an extra one up. Give him an extra life. Please do.
Yeah. No, we're all really excited. Grave Sites and Fractured Fortune, they're really excited to play the show. Those two are the local openers.
Yeah.
Aether Realm, Hunt the Dinosaur, and Inferi. It's going to be a great show. It's going to sell out, so you need to buy your tickets now.
Buy your tickets now because otherwise you're not going to see this guy play for a while, right?
Ooh. That brings me to some things that I can't announce yet.
So these are things and stuff that we can't talk about.
No,
Okay.
actually I cannot. But I do have some shows for the future, at least 5 or 6 shows from here until July. The one thing I can talk about is that I will be playing The Gathering of the Juggalos.
Ooh.
Yeah.
That's big.
That's going to be fun.
That's
Yeah.
going to be huge.
I'm playing the after party after the main stage.
Dude. How you
It's gonna
feeling
be a
about
lot
that?
of- fucking nervous.
Nervous?
Fucking
I can understand
They're
that.
either gonna love me or they're gonna hit me with turkey legs and throw Fago at me. So
Yeah, some Fago.
yeah, nah. They spray you with Fago if they like you. They hit you with food if they don't. So we'll see how that goes.
Nah, I think you'll be getting hit with Fago, man. I think so.
I hope so.
In a good way though.
Yeah.
Getting some Fago.
I hope it's open bottles and not unopened bottles.
Not
Hit me with unopened bottles of Fago.
Yeah, bacon greased stuff.
Yeah.
Slather it up. Good stuff on the stage, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know, playing these tracks up on stage live, greased up. It's good for you. Nikki says he just wants to twin with Oni.
Well, I love her. I love Oni.
Yeah. Everyone's got to love their cats, right?
I love her. So
They're like children. I'm not going to lie.
they really are. Especially Oni. She is a child.
A child. Yeah. You know, I do have a segment I want to get to here
All right.
because and this is an important one.
Important segment incoming.
Well, it is like these segments are always important. You know, it's gotta happen. So without further ado, are you ready for this?
I think so.
All right, let's get to it.
All Posts Bulletin.
The APB is out. All Post Bulletin. This is where we dive into social media.
Social media.
Social media posts. Now today isn't from Reddit, ladies and gentlemen. Nope, not today. We're changing it up here. No, we're changing it. This is from Facebook. All right? The old Facebook, the book of the face.
Facebook.
Don't let fill-in members ruin your whole band. Telling the crowd to unalive themselves isn't funny nor edgy. Whoever that fill-in vocalist was seriously needs help within, and it sucks to see the actual band members face it head on.
Now, hold up a second. I didn't know that band had a fill-in vocalist that day because I heard about this.
You heard about this.
He was a fill-in vocalist?
That's correct.
Jesus.
Fill-in. Yes.
Yeah. No, see, I'm pretty sure I could speak for the M-Balm when I say this. We're advocates of mental health.
Yes, we are.
You shouldn't say some shit like that. I don't care who you are.
And that's why I want to get your take on it as not only a music artist, but a human being, because we are huge advocates on the show of mental health. I think we all suffer mental health illness in some way, shape, or form.
Absolutely.
And not even it doesn't even have to be depression or anxiety. It could be anything. So with that being said, I'm just going to give you a little tidbit of what happened here. It says, local band tonight, in quote, thinking of killing yourself tonight? Good. Do it. End quote. And it says on this this story here, this is the most insensitive, disrespectful shit I've ever heard. If you think it's okay to say shit like this, you're a degenerate goof. And I agree.
More than a degenerate goof, you're a fucking scumbag.
Oh, big time.
You're a fucking piece of shit if you tell somebody, not indirectly or directly, to kill themselves. You're a piece of shit.
Now, I don't know if we want to give the band away.
I don't remember the band.
You know?
No, but I remember seeing this post because it's a big deal right now, and I think honestly it's bringing the community together right now.
I mean, should we bring the band up? I mean,
well,
because did they even?
I had heard that they had issued an apology.
They have.
That seemed sincere from what I have heard.
Okay, because I haven't heard that. The last thing I heard was they didn't say anything yet.
I heard that they had issued an apology, and that they do not condone the actions of whoever this guy is.
All right, because look, I don't give a shit who you are. You do that shit. I'm not for cancel culture, but holy shit, dude. I wouldn't, if I was in a band and we needed somebody in our band, that guy would be never happening.
Yeah.
Never. I don't think this guy is ever going to be on another band again. He shouldn't be. Because if you go to a fucking show and you tell people to unalive themselves, I don't think you should. No, you shouldn't ever be on stage again.
Yeah.
Look.
No, it's disgusting. You shouldn't do that shit. Look, I talk about disgusting shit. I talk about subject matter that you really even shouldn't fathom, but I would never say something like that to any crowd or one person.
No.
You should never say something like that to anybody because you don't know what somebody's going through. There could be somebody, you could say that to one person in the crowd and somebody else in the back would take it personally.
Absolutely.
You can't say things like that.
No. And not for nothing, but we live in a society where people are killing themselves now more than ever before.
Yeah. It's very, very, very high rate.
To not take these things seriously, and look, I'm all for dark humor, but that's not funny. That's fucking far from funny. That's
funny.
That's utter garbage.
Yeah.
Spewed from that mongoloid's mouth. I'm sorry, but that really pissed me off when I saw that. I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, who the hell goes to a show and says, kill yourselves? If you think about it, do it. Fuck you.
Yeah.
And for anybody that sits there and says, nah, this guy should have another second chance at a band, I'm sorry, no.
No.
I can't get on that. I'm sorry. This guy completely lost his mind saying that. It was out of line, out of control. And if I was that band and I was witnessing that in real time, like I brought this guy here.
Dude, I would have stopped. I would have unplugged my equipment.
I think I'd be like, dude, we're
done.
We're done here.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you even want to play a show after somebody that you brought there? Like you know how you get like embarrassed and you feel all those feels like tingly and you're getting hot. I'm sure they felt that.
Yeah.
And they probably were like, fuck, we got to get this guy off the stage, but they didn't. They continued the show. And regardless of what anyone thinks about mental health, you know, it's here. It exists. And society needs to get better at understanding this whole thing because it's getting worse.
I'll tell you right now, mental health is realer than your taxes.
Mm-hmm.
It's realer than the job you go to. Mental health is one of the most important things that you could ever focus on in your life.
This guy completely went off the rails. And when you sit there and tell people to kill themselves, you don't know who's out in that crowd, like you said.
Yeah, you don't.
Dude.
Somebody's dad could have died that day. Somebody could have been going through something hard. Like you don't say something like that. It's not even, to me, even if he thought that for some shadow of a doubt it wouldn't affect somebody.
Yeah.
You've got to be going through something fucking hardcore to even say some shit like that. And like, I'm not trying to defend him at all.
No.
I'm just saying, like, the kind of mindset you need to be in is so utterly careless.
It's reckless, for sure.
It's either immaturity or just a breaking point, and neither of them are excusable.
I just don't know what goes through someone's head to sit there and say, kill yourself.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know.
Like, I don't get it. Did he think it was funny?
If he thought it was funny, then that's a completely different story.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out.
It could be a case of self-reflection.
Okay, but you don't.
But again, not defending him,
No.
but just trying to cover all angles of it.
I saw this and I was like, we really need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Especially on a ROC HARD, because as a music artist, you know, and especially as a band, when you have a fill-in, you should know that person to a degree, right?
Yeah, I mean, the choice, I can't speak for him.
Right.
I don't know what the band sounds like. I don't know what the vocalist sounds like or what the fill-in sounds like.
Yep.
But I just don't see how it could have ever been excusable in any format.
No, that was pretty extreme.
Yeah.
And I saw that. I'm like, dude, really? Like, I understand, like, maybe feeling that way. And, you know, I understand maybe wanting to do that yourself, but I don't even care if it's a joke or not. It's not funny.
Yeah.
And it's not
funny.
It's not to be edgy like that and think you're hardcore because you said that. No.
Yeah.
You sound like a dolt. As a matter of fact, you sound like a grade A jackass. And there's no way, shape, or form anybody in the world that should sit there and go, yeah, this guy is in the right here in any way, shape, or form. Even if he apologized, I don't think it matters, because what was said was said. And if somebody did kill themselves that night after he said that, he'd probably be liable for it.
Nah, he should be.
Because all it takes is that one word.
Yeah. With the way our system works, he probably wouldn't be held accountable, but
that's sad, though. It should be,
is.
listen, if you go online and bully someone and say, go kill yourself, and they kill themselves, you're liable.
You should be held accountable.
Yes.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any difference if this guy was online doing this to somebody or on stage doing this to somebody. I think this guy should be held liable if anybody were to have done that. Thank God, as far as I know, nobody did. But dude, let's be honest here. When we go to the shows, there's a lot of people there that are going through a lot of shit. Hence why we go to shows, to escape reality, to go to places to enjoy the same music we all love and all enjoy. And we become a community. Like every time we go to Photo City or Montage or any venue whatsoever, everybody that goes there, we're all like a big community. And it's fun. And there's really not that much drama. And if there is, it's like a one-off.
Yeah.
Right? So, but people are going through shit.
People are always going through shit.
And there's a lot of people out there that
We
are
wouldn't be
depressed.
people if we weren't going through shit.
Absolutely. We'd be robots. Beep, boop. Boop, beep.
Boop, boop.
Boop, boop, beep, beep. But just, I was just taken back. I was like, because I saw the first post, what we just read the first time.
Yeah.
And I had to do some digging. I'm like, what happened? And then I found out like the band, and then I saw this story here, and I'm like, dude, that's what he said? Wow. That takes real guts to be that ballsy.
Yeah.
And like,
you gotta be, I don't even think it takes guts. I think it's just a complete lack of awareness. You just got to be so self-absorbed in what you're saying to the point where you don't think your voice has an action.
that was a pretty ballsy move to say that.
Yeah.
Like you don't say that shit.
Yeah, but I don't think it took balls.
Well, like, I don't
think
mean it in a good way.
I think it was incredibly like to be so ignorant that you have no accountability for your own actions, to feel like you could say that and not have repercussion from it.
Yeah.
That's not intelligence.
That's self-entitlement.
Yeah, that is the opposite of intelligence.
Yeah, it's not.
Because any right-minded person would not say that shit.
No. I watched a video. Now, this incident happened 2 years ago. It was in Pennsylvania. And I'm not even going to play that video. I watched it enough.
Okay.
It's very graphic. But going back on mental illness, there was a couple outside. They were shoveling their driveway. It was snowing out, and they were just throwing all kinds of slurs and just badgering their neighbor across the street. Now, I guess from doing research, they were bullying this guy for years. This guy just lost his wife. He was an ex-vet. He was a veteran.
Yeah.
You know, so he's experienced some things overseas in the military. At this point, he had nothing to lose. So they kept going on and on and on. The wife and the husband going on and on and on, calling him a pussy. The guy even said some really derogatory words to him. Just a lot of crazy nonsense that shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
Well, this guy decided to take it upon himself to go back into his house, right? What do you think when you're saying things to somebody and they just, your neighbor, you're talking shit to them? What do you think when somebody goes into their house? What's going through your mind?
Like if you're talking shit to a neighbor and the neighbor comes into your house?
No, they go into their own house.
Oh, they fester. I would assume that they fester on the thought of like, oh, fuck this motherfucker for talking this shit about me.
This guy did the opposite.
What?
He took matters into his own hands. He came outside with a gun, a handgun. And this couple kept saying, like, do it. Like the wife dropped the shovel and she's like, go ahead. This is how entitled they were.
That's called instigation.
Right.
And by law, you are allowed to do certain things under instigation, even though they're not morally correct. In some states, you instigate somebody on their own property, they have the right to either defend themselves, but if the other guy was on his property and he didn't go on theirs,
they weren't. They were in the street.
That's neutral ground, technically.
So, yes. So what happened was he started shooting, and they're still like going at it. Like the husband stopped in his tracks, and then he finally gets hit with one of the bullets and starts reality set in.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh God, I've been shot, call the cops. And she's still mouthing off at this guy, and he finally shoots her. She falls to the ground, and he unloads the handgun on both of them. They're still alive.
Yeah.
These kids come out of the side view of the camera. They're like 16 years old or whatever. They're like, oh my God, are you okay? And like, do you need help? They don't have no idea what's going on until like the one kid explained that he just saw blood and all that stuff. And he's like, oh. And then this guy comes out with a rifle. And I'm just going to put it this way. He finishes the job. And when he does, he tells the woman, you should have just kept your fucking mouth shut and finished the job.
Jesus Christ.
So this guy's actions obviously were not
condoned.
Not
He
condoned.
obviously had mental health issues.
But that's the problem here.
Yeah.
That's the problem I'm trying to make is
I wouldn't call it reason of insanity.
No, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah, I wouldn't at that moment of time. I think the instigation was just too much for somebody who was already under pressure.
Now this couple had a 15-year-old special needs kid.
Yeah.
And not once did they think about that kid when they were making all these remarks. While there was a gun pointed at them still. They didn't think about that. They wanted to be right. They were so entitled.
Yeah.
They didn't care about this. And I like this saying, you don't know what's happening behind closed doors.
Yeah.
Dude, just shut up, right? You see a gun at you, you just shut up and just say, oh fuck, right? You got to stop. What this guy did was completely fucked. And not only did he do that, he went back inside and killed himself after the fact. So, and I know this might be difficult for some people, but these discussions need to happen because this is a reality of it. Society, again, needs to take mental health very seriously. It's become so out of control here. People are committing suicide left and right. People are killing each other left and right and then killing themselves. There's so much craziness in this world. And I just wish that people had more compassion, more understanding. And I just wish that for a second, maybe you think about what you're doing or saying before you do it or say it.
It's difficult to get people to be compassionate about things that don't directly infect them.
No, you're right. Because they can't understand.
Yeah. And you don't feel or think about those kind of things unless it's happening to you. And then again, you think it's never going to happen to you. And when it does, do you think that guy that was involved in that incident ever thought that would happen to him? No. No.
Not at all.
Nobody's prepared for it.
No. And going back to music.
Yes.
Mental health. that's the one thing about music I love, is that people that are going through this are going through it with the people that listen to their music. They're actually they're writing down these lyrics, they're making these songs, and they're helping people at least try to have an understanding of that they're being understood to a point of what they're going through. I mean, we've talked about it on this show many a times, and it's all about listening, not just people talking, but listening to a message, whether it be a song or a speech. Now, I mean, everybody has their own style of lyrics. I know, obviously, your lyrics.
I was gonna say my lyrics are not a detriment to anybody benefiting themselves, or my lyrics are more aggressive. My music is more about let it out now and then not act on your feelings later.
Right.
Listen to something that's incredibly offensive and aggressive so you don't feel like you have to act on your emotions. I wouldn't even say that my music is indirectly an advocate for mental health, because it's not. If
Right.
anything, people could take my music the wrong way.
I could see that.
A really wrong way.
But knowing who you are, I wouldn't, because
Well, that's the thing. The people that listen to your music the most are the people that don't know you.
you're right.
And that goes for any band, any genre, any artist, no matter who you are. The people that are going to give you the strongest opinions on your craft are the people that don't know you at all. And those are the ones you need to listen to instead of your producer homies and your other music friends. Because instead of talking and explaining about like the craft that goes into the music, they're going to be like, oh, I don't like the mix, or I don't like how this thing was EQ'd, or this thing was EQ'd. Or like, the average listener does not give a fuck about what the mixing and mastering of your music is.
I was going to ask
They care
you.
about the content of the music. And granted, my quality is good, but the average listener does not fucking care.
No.
They really don't. And the people that really put themselves down the most are the ones that try to get recognition and praise from their fellow musician.
Yeah.
Your fellow musician is in competition with you, whether you like it or not. They're going to tell you something that you don't like, or they're going to pretend to tell you something that you want to hear.
Right.
And it becomes this sense of like fake positivity all around. And I think a lot of people can't see through the fake positivity, and they take it to heart and they get their feelings hurt through their own friends.
Yeah.
But they don't understand that, secretly, whether you want to admit it or not, you're all at competition with each other.
And I was going to ask you,
But
like,
it could be friendly. It could be friendly competition.
Absolutely.
But some people take it beyond that.
if you put a mastered and unmastered version of one of your tracks in front of somebody who's never heard your music before, do you think they could tell the difference?
They would be able to tell that one is quieter and one is louder.
Okay.
That's it. It would be a volume difference.
Right.
They wouldn't be able to tell if there was a grit or a distortion, or if this frequency is at 6,000 hertz, or if this one was cut at this, that, and the other. They don't care.
No.
They care about what the source material is at heart.
Yes.
And to me, my source material is mostly unintelligent. You don't need a lot of unpacking to understand what the songs are about. It's like, no, fuck that guy, fuck this person. It's like, that's, or it's just like legitimately telling a story. There's no deep meaning behind any one of my songs. They're all completely transparent.
And you think that people out there that might listen to it might think that it does mean something, that there is a story behind it like that?
There is, and I had tested this before with one of my songs. I had actually gotten in trouble on Reddit for one of my songs before.
I feel like we talked about that before, but I don't remember it.
I had loosely evaded to the storytell. I like to tell stories about things that people shouldn't tell stories about. I loosely have alluded to, I made a song loosely based off of Dylan Roof.
Okay.
The kid that shot up the church.
Another, yeah.
In the South, piece of shit, terrible person.
Absolutely.
I made a song from like the perspective of somebody's mental health going through something like that, not advocating for him.
Right.
But people took it as I was defending him. I absolutely was not. No. I made a song that portrayed what the emotion of going through something like that would be like.
Yeah.
And I was called a sympathizer for it, and I was like, hey, no, no, not at all. Hey, I fucking hate that racist piece of shit.
Yeah, what that guy did was completely.
But the story inspired me. I feel like a lot of people said that I shouldn't bring his story into light because it's just bringing the monster back up. But I feel like we need to remember things like that. We need to remember shitty things like that so we remember how to be good people.
Yeah. Look, I'm not saying to go out and watch graphic videos or anything like that. That's not what I'm saying. But I also I want everyone to understand, like, you should educate yourself on these things.
No, you should.
And understand it for what it is. I don't necessarily enjoy watching like what I was describing there.
Yeah.
I watch it because I want to understand more of what happened and kind of like try to put myself in all sides' shoes at that moment.
There's also a sense of the reminder of mortality.
Correct.
When you're watching those kind of things, it's kind of like there's a lot of movies and films out there that you shouldn't watch, but you watch them anyway, and you feel this. You feel it's almost like a feeling of butterflies.
Yeah.
You watch them and you realize I shouldn't do this, but it reminds you of why you are who you are. Sometimes you need to be reminded of the things that you hate the most.
Oh, for sure.
Because if you don't, you forget why you hate them in the first place, and you become complacent.
Complacency is dangerous, and I don't care what situation it is.
Yeah.
And I know I've become complacent in times in my life, shouldn't have.
Yeah.
And the older I get, the more I'm like, okay, I can't do that again.
Yeah.
Whether it be a relationship, a job, et cetera, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, anything you become too comfortable with, where you can't see the flaws in it.
And then if you stay long enough, it gets to the boiling point.
Yeah.
You don't want that. It's not good. So like that's what I always tell people, like, dude, listen from my experience. I'm trying to help you. Like, try to understand where I'm coming from. If you're in a place and you're not happy, find your happiness, even if it's outside of that.
Yeah. But it's weird for me to try to describe with my music, because my music doesn't directly say that, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's more from, like, if you just listen to really any of my songs, it's more of violence, 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 violence. I'm technically a pacifist.
Yeah.
I don't condone violence. I support the owner of, like, I support gun ownership, but I'm not an advocate for guns.
Right.
Like, I don't want you to go out and fucking hurt somebody.
No.
I would rather you listen to a song and be intelligent enough to be like, oh yeah, that's how I feel, but I'm not going to go out and do it. But I also know that there is the risk factor. Somebody's going to listen to one of my songs one day and be like, yeah, I'm going to do that. And be like, no, please don't do that.
Well, that was the problem during Columbine.
Yeah.
With Marilyn Manson
and Rammstein.
Yes.
Weißes Fleisch.
Yes. There was a lot of controversy over those music artists because of what happened,
Yeah.
because of what they were writing in their journals and all that other stuff. And of course, the lyrics that they wrote in their songs weren't probably helping. But the fact of the matter is that's not what their intent was.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
Well, I mean, with the song Weißes Fleisch with Rammstein, it was a little different. 'Cause
Right.
that song was directly about going to a school and shooting it up.
Right.
And it was like Weißes Fleisch, like, I want to see your white flesh painted on a red shirt. That was different. That was a little different because things like that hadn't happened before. That was my water bottle. I'm sorry.
Oopsies.
Yeah.
But Rammstein wasn't trying to tell a story of, hey, go out and do it.
No, not at all. They were literally telling a story.
That's it.
And it was misconstrued as I need to react to this, like reenact this story.
See, that's the scary part.
Yeah.
It's
where I feel a grave sense of responsibility when I make my own music. But I can't help it because I feel like a horror writer. I like to tell stories. I like to tell horror stories. I like to tell stories and make music that makes you almost cringe inside when you hear it, because it's something you don't want to hear and you fear the idea of it actually coming true.
Right. And that's the one thing I think about, like people watching movies, any type of content, media content, video games. People always like to point the finger at video games. They're like, oh, that's what did it. That's what made that kid snap and shoot up a school. No, that's not the case. Because you know how many years I've played like Grand Theft Auto and stuff?
Yeah.
I've played those a long, long time. And I never once thought, oh, let's go do this or whatever. No,
it comes down to the child's environment.
That doesn't help either. If the parenting
Yeah.
is lacking,
Or their
there's-
friends are delinquents.
Right.
If their friends are older and they're more impressionable, if the parents are in a state of disarray, that's what causes that, not video games.
no, not move. I mean, look, everyone has a different mentality.
Yeah, I've
You know.
never ripped out anybody's spine.
No, but you
while
sing about
playing Mortal Kombat. It. Yeah, but I talk about it. Yeah,
Well, I wouldn't say sing, but you have it in your music.
I'd be doing some things.
I mean, do you call what you do singing?
No.
Okay, because that's what I was wondering. Like, you know how the older people and like they're all 80 years old and they hear a rap song like, oh, that man's singing about the word. It's like, no, he's not singing. He's
not
rapping.
singing, he's rapping. I mean, technically, rap stands for rhyme and poetry.
Okay, I didn't know that. So
Rap.
that's
R-A-P, rhyme and poetry.
I like that. All right.
Yeah.
See, I didn't know that. So you educated me today on something.
But
I
I'm
didn't know.
not doing that either.
No, he's not doing that either. No, he's not Eminem.
So, like, the rapping thing, I mean, I don't even really know what to call my music. So, because it's so odd and out there.
But you know what I like about it? It's unique. It's experimental.
Yeah.
It's and I like those kind of genres because, and I'll even give an example. There's an electronic music artist called Aphex Twin.
I like them a lot.
Aphex Twin, Richard D. James he's brilliant at music. And
Yeah.
the guy can't even read music, but he makes such, I don't even know how to describe, every piece of music he's made is different. Like he'll make some really weird acid track and then he'll go to like an ambient track and it's one of the most beautiful things you've ever heard in your life. You're like, wow. But people can't put a finger on what that kind of music is, but it's unique.
It's just whatever Aphex Twins is.
Yeah, he does whatever he wants. You know how he came up with that name?
Huh.
So Aphex, I guess, is a piece of gear that he used. It's a brand, I guess.
Yeah, yeah.
And he had a twin brother who passed away when he was young, like I think as a baby.
Yeah.
So he was, I guess, a twin at one point. Like there could have been two of them walking around, two identical guys looking like Richard D. James.
Yeah.
You know? But that's why he used Aphex Twin.
Yeah.
Which is cool.
That's interesting.
I love those little backstories, man.
Yeah.
That's why I asked you about Cape Fear Butcher. That was a cool story. I don't know how you came up with that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Another funny little interesting tidbit about how I got the name. Like right around the time that he was telling me that I was like slaughtering and butchering every song that I did, we were recording in his apartment, but his fire alarm didn't have a 9-volt battery in it. So I would have to mix and edit out the beep.
Oh.
The
Yeah.
Yeah, I would have to edit that out of every single take.
How long did that take you?
Not long.
Oh, really?
It was fucking annoying.
Very intricate.
It was so annoying.
Very tedious.
Yeah, it was bullshit.
Ugh. I mean, sometimes when you're editing video and stuff, I can understand that. You're trying to get the perfect splice for audio, and then you get that little annoyance in there, and you're like, "What the hell?" Oh man, I can tell you're getting a little tired, man. So I'm not going to keep you too long. We've actually reached our 3-hour 7-minute mark. It's going to be 3 hour and 8 minutes here on this show. That does count the start screen and all that, and the break. So it might be a little less actual on-air time.
Play it forever. Run it back. Play it 3,000 times.
3,000 times. Tomorrow. It was good having you on. I'm glad that we got to sit face to face, mano y mano here on Rock Hard. I mean, it wasn't originally slated to do that, but
we're coming back soon.
No, I want to.
By we, I mean DeadXOLaughter, aka Geraldo.
Geraldo.
Yeah. Dude, my phone autocorrects his name to gerrymandering.
Really?
Yeah. So when I text him, I'll do just like gerrymandering. What are you doing? It's just like I don't fix it because I think it's funny.
It is funny. I would keep it. I'd keep it.
Yeah.
Forever and always.
Gerrymandering. I love you, Jerry.
We love you, Jerry. We hope you feel better, buddy.
Please feel better.
We hope you come on the show soon. Sorry that it didn't happen the way it was supposed to, but nonetheless, we had a great show here. I had some good conversations with Cape Fear Butcher.
Yes, that is me.
That is him. Him is I. We is R.
I are Baboon.
That's right. And I am Weasel. If you haven't already, please go to the M-Balm Effect Facebook page. Share, like, and follow. And then head on over to our YouTube channel. Like, subscribe, and hit the bell for all the notifications of when we go live and post other videos. That way we can that'll help us continue to do this and to get more guests on and to do more content for you and hopefully grow this thing more and more each and every day. Would love that.
Yes, sir.
We would love that.
We would love it if you did all of those things and you do them now.
Do them now.
Do
You
them
can
right now.
do them right now. Please
Or
and thank you.
Your house might catch on fire.
Oh, no. We don't do
due
that.
to evil spirits.
Oh, Jesus.
It's evil spirits, not me. I'm
Oh.
not condoning it.
No.
I'll send spirits to your house.
Oh, no. He knows where they are, too.
I know where all of you live.
And you can always call us while we're live and when we're not live, 855 M-Balm 19. That's 855-622-5619. You can leave us a voicemail if you're listening to us when we're not live, and we'll get to it in the next one. But yeah, we have phone lines. Don't forget, as it comes up on the bug right now, 855-622-5619.
You heard the spirits.
You heard the spirits. That's right. Dude, it was good talking to you. Every time we talk together, every time you're in studio, it seems like we always dive into some really deep rabbit holes, which I'm glad.
It happens.
You know, again, that's why we're here. We get into all kinds of different conversations. We talk about music. We talk about the conspiracy theories. We talk about all kinds of stuff, and that's why we get so rock hard.
Yeah.
It's just rock hard.
Definitely rock
Ooh,
hard.
did you feel that? Oh, wow.
Wow. Oh, yeah. Oh,
So rock hard. Shook. Even the table shook. Well, thanks again, man, for coming on with me.
Of course.
And for all of you listening, thank you for tuning in, and thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. This is Rock Hard. This is Cape Fear Butcher. And yes, go check him out. He's on YouTube and all that stuff. Right?
Check me out. Give me money.
Give him listens. Give him all that stuff.
Give me money.
Give him love. This is the M-Balm Effect. Rock Hard. This is Cape Fear Butcher. Thank you for tuning in. Love you all. Bye.
Me.
I know my high just started, but I hit a peak, yeah. Wave, used to just wanna blend in. Flex how I do the syntax now that I got the attention. On the rig, you make it really hard, I just wanna be friends. Treat the night like a vignette for what's coming next, hard to see the end. Yeah, I tread water in the deep end. I'll die young and live plenty days on my defense. In real life, niggas pretend, let them sleep in. Reach a life feeling like a never-ending repeat of the weekend. I can't believe it. Yeah. Got it. Switch up how I breathe every time I see it. Yeah. Knowing what you want, I know just what you need, yeah. Yeah. Here's the thing, I got you falling through for the weekend. Since I put it down, how you need it. Bet I make it hard, I wanna leave. It ain't nobody realist, it's been added something rigorous. I traded in the cars, it was lost for the dividends. I'm calm, but the temperament been strong when I pencil in. Phone steady, jumping, screening calls like I'm flipping bricks. Got everybody tapping in, but you been kept it solid. When you look me in the eyes, subtle tell I know you got it. When you do the sauce, make me want it a la carte. Got me looking at it like the bullseye of the target. Double tap it. Since day one, but I'm seasoned. But the working off season. Niggas talk like they ball hard, when all they really do is reach in. Limit time, hearing small talk. Speaking dreams to existence like a young king at the Lincoln. Big facts for the pretense.
The M-Balm Effect.